All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Close. We are live, and we've got a decent amount to discuss right here. We have two big earnings coming up after the bell, Cerebras and Fedex. So you've got some big earnings to take a look at. Cerebras, I didn't even know we had today, but that's going to be an important one. Obviously, it is the hottest, or is one of the hottest IPOs. It's actually up 3% on the day. And so we'll be talking about that. We will have Technical Tuesday, as always, after we get through those earnings. Fedex will also be important to get a glimpse on what's going on with the consumer. Outside of those earnings today, you have a lot of different headlines. As you can see, we are dumping into the close. We had a little bit of a pump earlier in the day. Then we tried again for a little bit more of a pump. And it ended up not working in terms of those pumps having any level of meaningful reversal. And as you can see, we are getting the opposite right here. S&P 500 down about 1.39%. A couple more bucks, and we'll be back to those pre-market lows. Micron actually having, I think, its worst day in a couple months. Down 13.4%. At one point, it was down 14.5%. Getting hit pretty hard. NBIS was at 295 this morning. Now down 3.7%. Google down 0.5%. Netflix basically flat on the day, but red. Robinhood, there is a headline today that a lot of you guys are going to cringe at. I definitely cringed at it. We will talk about the cringe headline that affects Robinhood, but Robinhood right here, 102.56, as it's also getting a dump into the close, down about 2.9%, did get to a high of 105.98 before coming back down. Marvell down 10% on the day. Little ugly. Qualcomm down 8% on the day. This thing was below 200. Rocket Lab down 5%. ASTS down 1%. SpaceX, it's up 2.5%, but it is down a lot from the highs at 165, now down to 158. AMD down 6%. It's just been an ugly day. It's been an ugly day across a variety of different sectors. Real quick, the simple recap for why it's been an ugly day. South Korea's market really took a tumble yesterday, down about 10%. SK Hynix, Samsung were both down 12 and 15%. As a result, that messed up the memory trade, at least in the short term. When I mean messed it up, I mean it created some short-term volatility for Micron, down 13%. Micron, SanDisk, Western Digital, all those names obviously affect sentiment around the AI trade. If those names go down, the AI names go down. If the AI names go down, the S&P 500 goes down. You saw a little bit of rotation into some of the software names, like a Microsoft going up on the day, like a ServiceNow going up on the day. Palantir, unfortunately, did not get that rotation. 116.68, as that is down 2.3% on the day. They had a partnership with ZETA. ZETA got some love, up 5%. Palantir did not get any of that love. So there was a bit of rotation into some other parts of the market, but the vast majority of stocks to competing today, especially around communication tech and IT and semis. And as a result of that, obviously, today was a little bit of an ugly day. NVIDIA did not touch below 200, stopped at 200.17. It's at 200.91 right now, but down 3% on NVIDIA is also not fun to see. So what does this mean for the future of at least this week, if we're going to take it in the short term? And quite frankly, I think that answer, or that question, can only be answered once we get Micron's earnings. I think a lot of the volatility today, outside of what happened in South Korea, had to do with the fact that we just don't have answers right now in terms of what's going to happen with Micron. There's the bulls that are saying they're going to absolutely beat, and they're going to completely reverse expectations that it's a cyclical company, which I think they've already done to an extent, given they're worth 1.2 trillion. But you also have some bears saying, well, a lot of that's already priced in, and if that's priced in and we're giving too much of a premium to this, then realistically the earnings are going to have to give us a better understanding of what's going to happen, how it's going to play out, and then obviously you'll see if the other semiconductor names react to that. NBIS right there down 3.6%. Core we've got all the way up to 112, then fell right back down to 105 as this stock was down 5.7% on the day. INFQ inflection, it was up 14% on the day. Now it's up 12%. So still a decent move. Some of the quantum names were good. Some of them weren't after that Trump quantum announcement, but a variety of the software names like a Reddit down 2%, and then the semi names like an Intel down 6%, SMCI down 6%, ended up taking the biggest beating on the day. Now, we had some headlines before we get into the actual earnings. By the way, put in the chat if anyone is long Cerebras. We'll pull up the expectations for that in a second, along with Fedex. Fedex Street wants $5.95 of EPS and $24 billion of revenue. And Cerebras, I'll get the expectations in a second. We also have KBH Homes, which is a home builder. The big headline this morning that I think is getting a lot of people to just be like, what the hell is going on, is none other than Meta. I'm not going to lie, it's getting a little hard to defend it. It's getting a little hard to defend this. Zuckerberg wants to build a prediction market app for Meta, the New York Times reported. Zuckerberg is interested in building an app called Arena, which will allow the billions of Meta platform users to engage in simulated prediction market bets. This is not using real money. The app internally called Arena would be independent of Facebook and Instagram. It could compete for attention with Polymarket and Kalshi, the biggest prediction markets on the planet. Look, I don't think it's a horrible idea to like try out new versions of products that potentially could have product market fit and that create engagement, yada, yada. The problem is this is not the AI vision that people are investing in Zuckerberg for. Prediction markets are like, okay, for Kalshi and Polymarket, it's cool. For Robinhood, obviously, it brings in a couple $100 million of revenue a year. Zuckerberg would make the amount of money that a prediction market at scale could make in like 5 minutes off just like optimizing their ads, which is why they're growing at 33%, which is why people are so excited for the business. The problem is when they're on these side quests, whether it's glasses, which to me is still a side quest because I don't believe in that thesis. They also had some updates on glasses today, which no one cares about. They have $300 Ray-Ban glasses, or it's the metaverse, or it's this prediction market stuff. It's just not the right type of trajectory that I think shareholders have been waiting for. Like Amazon's not focused on prediction markets. Google's not, like these companies that are leading the AI revolution, they're focused on much more important things. And I think it's just weird that Zuck's now, and the New York Times article was like, this is his biggest focus to expand beyond Facebook and Instagram to build this prediction market. And like, there's a lot of people that gamble. There's a lot of people that bet on sports, all this stuff. But this reminds me of what Zuck's did in 2021 with Clubhouse. If anyone remembers, Clubhouse was an audio platform. Think of it like Twitter for audio. And it's not really Twitter for audio. It's more so Twitch for audio. So live audio clubhouses, live audio rooms, live audio streams. Zuckerberg made a copycat of that, and it lasted a couple months before they got bored of it and they moved on. Like, there is no real meaningful innovation in terms of new products and services that they've been giving to consumers. A lot of it's just stealing from other products, and when they steal from other products, they don't end up doing it in a meaningful way that gets people excited. RKLB right there, down 5%. ASTS was green on the day. That's down 1% as well. It's not with real money, so what's the point? I also agree. I was very confused. I'm like, did Zucks get some random idea that 4 billion people are going to like trade? The article was saying they're going to use points, and those points are going to be connected to your Facebook account or something. Users would likely predict outcomes with game-like points instead of money at launch, though Meta has now ruled out real money betting. The New York Times says Meta aims to grow Arena by leveraging its Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger audience. Like, Threads makes sense because it is a platform they can monetize effectively, and Threads actually, can generate advertising revenue at scale. This prediction market thing, again, I understand Coinbase, Robinhood, Polymarket, Kalshi getting into it, not Robinhood. So it's weird. It's just a poll at that point, right? Like it's just one. I saw the headline and I'm like, dude, you got people trying to defend Meta this year because it's such a phenomenal business and they're growing so well. But when you're spending this type of capex and the headlines that are coming out are prediction markets for 145 billion in capex, it gets a bit annoying right there. So that took Meta down. That also took Robinhood down. So as soon as that headline came out, Robinhood went from like 105.50 to 102, trying to recover right here. But that was the headline that ended up hurting them as well. Palantir, again, ugly day. I think you're seeing momentum unwind with Palantir outside of the software names. Unfortunately, Palantir, we all know, still trades at a relatively aggressive multiple. You have to go a few years out to kind of see the cheapness of Palantir. I don't know when this ends because, and we'll have Jason onto the show today. We'll get his thoughts from the technical perspective. The problem is Palantir has broken all levels of support. And, once you're in, when it's fun to the upside because then it's price discovery, it sucks to the downside because then it's a free fall. And so we're going to have to see ultimately how the market thinks of when it's time to step in and buy Palantir. NVIDIA, same thing, down about 4% on the day, pretty ugly. Google 347, NBIS down 2.74% after going up to 290. A lot of these names pumped up into the open. Lumentum down 7, AAOI down 13. The memory trade, obviously. Put in the chat if you bought the dip on memory, SanDisk down 13, or on Micron going into the print. Buying memory into the print tomorrow for Micron, it's either going to really work or really not work. So we're going to have to see what ends up happening. But you got to just have conviction today if you're really buying memory. And I'm not sure how many people have that conviction going into a print that, who knows, could send Micron back to 800 or push it up to 1400, which obviously affects Marvell. It obviously affects Broadcom. Like, I think the poster child of the semiconductor trade is memory. And that's why you're seeing some pain. Seeing a decent amount of people saying they bought the dip, seeing a bunch of DRAMs here buying the dip. DRAM also down about 13% on the day. Bloom, did that get hit today? Bloom did get hit, down about 7.4% as well. And this was also bad. Amit, what do you think of this? Kylie Jenner has partnered with Meta to design a new line of AI smart glasses. I did not see that headline today. Oh, I just saw it right now, 16 minutes ago. Our amazing shareholder capital is going to fund Kylie Jenner's, wow, Meta AI voice by Kylie. So they're using her voice to train AI glasses that speaks to you, sounding like Kylie Jenner. That's bad, but it's not as bad as this headline. Sources say that Snapchat CEO Evan Spiegel is in competitive talks to pay Robert Downey Jr. $100 million in Snapchat stock to join the glitzy marketing campaign for Specs AR glasses. I think as a collective species, we have lost our damn minds with these glasses. We've lost our damn minds. We've absolutely lost our minds thinking these glasses are the next big thing. And the beneficiaries are Kylie Jenner and Robert Downey Jr. apparently. Also, if I was Robert Downey Jr., I would not ask for Snapchat stock. I would ask for $100 million in cash. That might be worth a little bit more than that Snap stock. But oh my gosh, bro. We should not be spending hundreds of billions of dollars on CapEx for AI-powered glasses. Like, that's just not what we're going for. Robinhood, 103.25 pound here, losing 117 right there as we get into the close. 2 minutes left. Let me do the poll in the chat. Cerebras or Fedex, which one do you think outperforms? I don't see the expectations for Cerebras. I don't think Cerebras is profitable. I don't think they're profitable. Fedex, obviously a very profitable company. Which one outperforms? Cerebras, Fedex, and then we'll get Jason on right after we get to these earnings and get his thoughts on what's going on with some TA. What a day. Ugly day in a lot of areas. In some areas, you know, ZETA, I know it lost 20, but still up 5% of the day. Can't be too mad. SPY getting back to those pre-market lows. Wow, 1.4. We opened the market at 1.4% down. It looks like we were ready to close at 1.4% down. Some names survived, like a ServiceNow. Amazon was relatively flat, but the rest of these tech stocks, along with memory and semis, took the brunt of the pain today. Tuesday, June 23rd, 4 p.m. The stock market is now closed. All right, we are done for the day. Cerebras and Fedex are on deck to see what they can deliver. NASDAQ fell 2.1% on the day. The S&P 500 fell 1.3% on the day. Ironically, oil hit a new 3-month low at 72.50. It's at 73.37 right now. Trump had a press conference. I don't think he made any big headlines or said anything crazy. I think it was a rally, and I think he just talked about how great the economy is. So, yeah, there wasn't anything too crazy that we got from that. This was one of the clips from that rally today.
The typical 401k, as you know, is up almost $30,000 in, it was 12 months, it was 13 months. It's up 44%. Think of that, up 44%.
So, bragging about the stock market, bragging about the economy, but no crazy updates on Iran or anything that we would need to see that would potentially affect the broader market. Stocks in general lost $1 trillion of value today, and the Dixie hit a 13-month high. At the same time, the 10-year, so that's the dollar index, the 10-year fell today, relatively flat, but still down 4.497%. Dollar went up. You know, the last time the dollar really went up, we definitely had a bit of pain in the markets. And as oil comes down, I think we're starting to see some of that happen right here. But I also just think people are worried about Micron tomorrow. And if SK Hynix was any indication, you that was part of the reason why people ended up selling some stocks today. All right, Cerebras, don't have the results yet. We should be getting it soon. Fedex, we also should be getting soon. Cerebras, I wonder how much the market is going to pay attention to this. $50 billion company, new IPO, obviously important when it comes to AI. But how much does the market actually care about their results? Fedex goes red. 1.2. Nope. Now it goes green. Now it goes red. Now it goes green. No, now, yes, green. Green. 2.1. No, red. 1.07. No, 1.95. Okay, Weeble is bugging out. Now it's red. Now it's definitely red. I think. Yes, it's red. Okay, we're red. Beat by 6% on EPS, beat by 4% on revenue. Revenue 24.03, 25 is what they got. EPS 595 versus 631. So you got a beat by 6 on revenue, beat by, or 4 on revenue, 6% on EPS. EPS is up 4% year over year, revenue's up 13% year over year. Looks like guidance was also a beat. I think. Yeah, looks like guidance. They raised fiscal year guide. They intend to buy $1 billion worth of stock. CapEx is $3.9 billion. Guidance they're raising to about $18. Revenue growth about 11%. All right, so you got a triple beat. Guidance, rev, and EPS. Stock's down 1.2. Stock is down 1.2. Amit, isn't this just people taking profits and going away for summer as we chop till Q3, Q4? I don't know if we can officially say we're in the summer slump for tech yet. I think we got to give it until mid-July and see some of the price action to make that argument. But theoretically, last week of June, people might be going on vacation. So that theory that people are selling and just, they'll be back in the fall, very possible. I just think we need to give it a couple more weeks to see if that's actually happening. Fedex right there down 1.3. Cerebras, we're still waiting on those numbers. I will try to get the expectations on that. But that's what you got for Fedex. All right, so these aren't horrible numbers for Fedex. I mean, I know Amazon delivery has been eating the lunch of a lot of these last mile service providers, but still, seems like they put up the numbers that they needed to put up to keep going. Imagine yelling at your glasses to shut up. Dude, you know what the most annoying thing about Siri is? If you have AirPods on and your phone isn't on Do Not Disturb, Siri will read to you every single notification you get. And it's like sometimes you don't want to have you don't want to have Do Not Disturb on because you want to check your phone and see the notifications, but you also don't want Siri to be like, you just got an email from. It's like it is the most annoying part of having AirPods on and also having to deal with notifications. And I would imagine with glasses, hopefully it wouldn't be as annoying as well. Cerebras up about 0.5%. After hours, but not seeing it. Oh, you can turn that off? Why don't you guys tell me that before? Why are you guys letting me suffer for the past 2 years listening to Siri read out all these stupid notifications to me? No one wanted to tell me that. Thanks, guys. I tell you guys stuff about the markets every day. No one wanted to tell me how to optimize Siri. Cerebras, where are these numbers? Where are these numbers? They're a public company. It's time to show it to the public. What do you got? What do you got? You didn't ask? You guys were supposed to know regardless. You guys are supposed to know me by now. Someone show me where to do it in settings, bro. This is the most annoying shit ever. Like every time. I've told Siri to shut up before. I'm like, Siri, I don't care. Like, I don't need to hear this stuff. So someone's got to help me with this. All right, before we get Cerebras numbers, let's get a preview real quick. We should be getting it. We should be getting it very soon. Is it out? Okay, let's look at this preview real quick and let me see if I can get the numbers.
Christina. Yeah, well, the stock actually popped 68% in its debut in May that you mentioned, but it's down more than 31% from the first day close. Investors are just trying to figure out how much to pay for this AI chip story. So Cerebras is focused on AI inference, the computing power needed every time someone uses ChatGPT or another AI assistant. It's wafer-scaled chips, which are about the size of a Frisbee, combine computing and memory on a single piece of silicon that you're seeing on your screen, and allowing it to process AI requests faster than maybe traditional designs like GPUs. That technology has helped earn Cerebras a premium valuation, with investors betting it can become a major player in the next phase of AI spending. Demand right now isn't the issue. OpenAI has already signed a take-or-pay agreement that provides revenue visibility, and Amazon is building Cerebras chips into AWS alongside its Trainium chips. So heading into this report, the focus is going to be on execution. First, you have revenue. Wall Street expects about $180 million, more than double a year ago. Second, margins. Cerebras is building out capacity, and those costs, of course, are going to expect to pressure profitability this year. If that hit is larger than expected, investors will take notice, maybe impacting the stock. Third, any update on the OpenAI ramp and whether Cerebras is getting enough supply from Taiwan Semiconductor to keep up with demand. This is an issue for a lot of chip makers right now. Analysts say the timing of that deployment matters more than just a modest revenue beat or miss. Cerebras isn't expected to be profitable until next year. What investors want to hear is the capacity ramp. OpenAI deployment and AWS opportunity are all tracking to plan. For a company valued on years of future growth, that outlook may matter more than the quarter itself, guys.
It is still not out, folks. So we're looking for 180 million of revenue, no profitability. Man, this company's worth 50 billion. The street wants 180 million of revenue. So obviously they have been able to get a multiple. Some websites are saying 7 p.m. I doubt it's going to come out at 7 p.m. That's not usually what happens for public companies. It's 408. Don't see the numbers. Stock's flat right here after hours. 180 million is what we're looking at. Nothing on their website. It's at 5. The call might be at 5, but I don't think. Hold on. Let me go to their IR page right here. The call usually ends up being there, but not the actual numbers. Let's look at Fedex real quick while I try to get Cerebras.
Hey there, Mike. Looking at Fedex shares right now, pulling back to about 2%. They've been moving a bit. This is after beats on the top and the bottom line in its Q4 earnings. This is also the last report that will include its FedEx freight segment that's now spun off into a public company. That spinoff happening back on June 1st. I'm going to get into the numbers a bit. Beat on the top line, big beat on EPS. The estimate was $5.96 a share. It came in at $6.31 a share. This, again, after the spinoff, is a single segment company with FedEx Express, including its air delivery and also its ground delivery. The estimates there, the margin numbers actually missed estimates. The estimate for margin was 9.2%, came in at 8.9%. A lot of other bright spots in the report, though. U.S. domestic volume up by 3%, U.S. pricing up by 10%. We also, as we mentioned, they're spinning off the company. They're also changing their reporting schedule, making their reporting schedule fiscal year into the same thing as the calendar year. As part of that, we can't really compare their forward guidance to other estimates and other numbers in the past, so that is not comparable. But again, beats on the top and the bottom line. FedEx also saying it's going to buy back opportunistically about $1 billion in shares throughout the rest of the calendar year, looking for opportunities there. FedEx shares pulling back just about 1.5% after beats on the top and the bottom line. However, its forward guidance not comparable due to changing as how it's reporting now to a calendar year schedule. Mike.
All right, so you got your beats on FedEx. Market doesn't care too much. On Cerebras' website, they say join us for the investor call at 5 p.m., but that doesn't mean the results should be there at 5 p.m. So I would imagine we should be getting those numbers pretty soon. Maybe it's a 4:15 thing. Maybe it's right now 4:10. But we should find out soon. Burry posted about Palantir on X. Burry posted a picture of Palantir's volume declining. I mean, look, if Palantir ends up falling below 100, you know the number one person that's going to be taking a victory lap. So at this point, we got to see. We have got to see how the market thinks of it and if there is any level of support protecting it from getting to those levels. Here's the thing. If Micron tops out the market in the short term and as a result, everything falls, you know, everything high beta, Tesla, Palantir, Hood, they could take a bit of a dip. And so the question is, will we put in a top anytime soon, even if it's short term, or, you know, does the train keep rolling? This SK Hynix drama from yesterday, it, you know, just started a butterfly effect, at least for now, until we get Micron. Fedex now dumping. It was down only 0.5%. Now it's down 4%. Micron after hours is up about 1%. That's holding on. And then Cerebras, we don't have the results yet. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to wait for Cerebras whenever this comes out. You're supposed to be an Apple's products expert. That's a good point. I am. I'm supposed to be an Apple's product expert. Amid to Kathy Wood asked your dad to buy Micron today. She did not, thankfully. For those that don't get that joke, my dad joined a WhatsApp group yesterday from a Facebook ad, and he texted me. He was like, "Hey, Kathy Wood told me to buy SMCI. Is that a good idea?" I was like, "Dad, how did she tell you to buy?" It's like this WhatsApp group I'm part of. I was like, "Dad, I don't think she's allowed to tell you what to buy." So he thankfully left the group, and so he got no updates to make purchases today in the stock market. Those groups are so sinister, man. They just prey on people that, are not really sure of what exactly they're doing, and then boom, they try to go after you. But no more updates from fake Kathy Wood. Cerebras, okay, I think we have some numbers because I'm seeing some action. 1.45, 1.89. Let's see if we get anything. Why SMCI? I don't know. Maybe Tanner convinced the fake Kathy Wood to scam my dad and tell him to buy SMCI to help him in the draft. I don't know. He's like, "What do you think of SMCI?" I was like, "Why are you asking me about SMCI?" Like, it's not like Rocket Lab or Robin. These are the names he's never heard of SMCI. He's like, "Oh, Kathy told me." I was like, "Oh boy. Oh boy." All right, where's Cerebras? I don't see it, even though the stock's moving. Where is it here? Cerebras. I got KB Homes. KBH Homes. This stock is flat. Margins 15.7%. Operating income 28.2 million. They beat on revenue 1.1 billion versus 1.09, and then EPS 43 cents. That looks like that was a miss. Street wanted 46 cents. KBH Homes doesn't really move too much, but Cerebras is trying. The link for the draft is stockdraft.com, which, if we take a look at it today, I believe I'm in last place. Yeah. Matt's down 1. I'm down 5.5. Tanner's down 2. Steve's down 3. Jason's down 3. Chris is down 4. So we are all in the red. And SanDisk is really what got me today, is that memory trade going down is hurting the portfolio. All right, folks, I think we're just going to get started with Technical Tuesday because until we get Cerebras, I don't know how long we're going to wait around for it. So if we end up getting Cerebras at 4:30 or 5, then we'll pause for a little bit and just take a look at the numbers. But until then, it is time to get into the technicals and see what we've got going on in this market. For those that are new to Technical Tuesday, we have, in my opinion, the best TA analyst in the world that understands most of the market cycles and dynamics around technicals. He's been doing this for us for almost 2 years now. And so we'll bring him onto the show, get his thoughts around what he thinks is happening from a technical perspective around the markets, mixed with some of the fundamentals. And then when we get Cerebras numbers, hopefully we'll be able to at least take a little bit of a look of what that happens. It's going up 2%, though. I feel like the numbers are out, but I don't see anything. Yeah, nothing. All right. Hopefully we get it soon. Here we go, folks. Tuesday. It is once again time to roll the intro.
What's up, buddy?
Why are you stealing my my swag?
I just saw the thing. I was like, I'm not really sure. It's like blurry. Look at this thing. How about this one?
Bro, you're trying to jack my style here.
The new,
that's
new
legit.
Office.
Better.
The new Office. Do we like this one? I don't know. This or like this is real. Can you tell the difference? This. What do we? I like this one, but this is actually real. You only know because I go into the fridge a lot. Anyways, what's up, everybody?
I still like.
I mean, I now
You're
I
laggy, bro.
understand.
You're laggy.
Oh, check.
Is it just me or is everyone else?
Oh, this checking, testing. Just a minute.
Is just me? Everyone else saying you're good?
I mean, that's what it
Oh,
looks
that's
like.
weird. You're like,
you're lagging.
that's so weird.
You're totally lagging.
Dude, you're like pausing between 15 seconds of. Okay.
Yeah, I actually have you pausing.
All right. Oh, so maybe it's me. I don't know. All right, let's get started with it. Let's get into it. We'll stop for Cerebras whenever we get it. But yeah, bro, let's pull up the S&P and I'll let you do your thing. I'm very curious. Today has obviously been an ugly day. Last week was choppy as well. So I don't know. I guess it's time to see.
I'm trying to check if it's my internet or for yours.
Dude, how is it me? I was fine right before you came.
You were. Yeah, I don't want to risk it. I just had to do that reset. It's Tuesday. Every Tuesday they do the computer updates. I don't know.
Okay. You can rejoin if you need.
Yeah, I think they're saying it's you.
So weird, bro. I know, but it wasn't me before you came on. How about I leave and then you stay?
Is that even possible?
Yeah, I can leave. Do
you guys actually wanted to come back, or is it just like I got this?
Okay, share your screen first. We'll start with S&P. I'll be back.
He says he'll be back. Let's see. Sharing the screen. Boom.
How about we leave? Yeah, you guys think I'm freezing. I wasn't freezing before Jason, so I don't know.
You blame the new guy, dude. Blame the new guy.
All
right, boys and girls. So this is where we are. Still trying to tweak this. I'm always trying to make this a little bit better. So if you guys have issues or like you can't see something, say something in the chat. Maybe Amit will see it. I don't really watch the chat that much because I get really busy and I'm not honestly I'm not that great with streaming. But so today I just saw so many things about like people, I don't know what you want to call it, but like people just like, oh, is it the end? Things like that. I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. Just like last week, we were up here and I was like, I don't have a reason for us to go like higher. I just didn't have it. What I'm looking for and what these numbers are, again, every time, if you guys have seen this plenty of times at this point, it's pretty legit. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking actually for multiple closes and opens, like basically an entire day, 2 to 3 days trading outside of essentially, where's the range? This range right here. We can even widen it just a little bit. Today is just a close below. So while it might feel scary, this is not a short to me. So this right now, I actually posted something earlier. This is not enough to think that we're going down. If anything, as I'm looking at this, this is possibly where you buy the dip. And quite frankly, like we are, and I'm zooming in now. So we opened slightly, basically on our support levels from right here. And again, you can kind of touch these or breach these intraday, and an intraday drawdown might feel, it might feel a bit wild, but at the end of the day, what we're looking for is like multiple days essentially outside of this range. Are we tight? Like, is it a little sketchy? Do you have a pucker moment? Probably. But I posted something this morning. It was like, you know what? I've seen this movie before. Just last week, it feels exactly like, and I'm zooming a little bit. This is last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and by Friday we actually closed basically the entire week flat, right? But it was just nothing but a massive dip all in here, and it very much feels like that. So I don't want to make any big decisions. Quite frankly, today is not a decision day. honestly too high to think that like, oh, we want to go out and buy this dip. Like it's not that big of a dip. It's more of like if you placed your bet already, you kind of just let it ride at this point. Otherwise, we can get a lot of, I'd say, whipsaw. I want to say more trappy action than trendy, and not choppy. So trappy meaning, I mean, this is trappy, right? Where you have big moves that are just blowing through what you would consider maybe support before, but nothing actually holds. So it breaks support resistance intraday, but it ends up being fake. I feel like we're in store for a lot of fake moves. And at the end of the day, quite frankly, I just don't see us going any which way. By the end,
Jason, do you have a take on why you think we sold off today?
so my technical levels I think the chat's going to want me to say a fundamental level.
I mean, both fundamentally and I guess technically. Why do you think?
So from a technical perspective, so the range is very, I mean, this is like 90% accurate, right? So like if you cannot, we are definitively in this box, right? 90% accurate within the 2% variance of like being high or low. Anyways, if I don't have like up here, I don't have a reason to go higher, right? And if I start to fail lower from a technical perspective, right here, this day, right? This day tells me, whatever day this was, that we should actually go all the way down to the bottom of the range within 24 to 36 hours. So that is that's 3 trading sessions. That's within 24 to 36 hours. The same thing told me over here, we're going to go to the top of the range up here within 24 to 36 hours. And that is literally 1-2 trading sessions. So tomorrow, it's very simple. Like if we're over 738, which is this range right here, this level, basically to today's high, we should be right back to 755 within 24 to 36 hours. And that is the definition of like sideways price action. And quite frankly, exactly what we're setting up for. Does it feel toppy? I mean, how does it not feel toppy when you're at all-time highs, right? And I think, yeah, that's where we are. I need to see a lot more from this market to think that this is the end of anything. Any way I slice it, there's no way that the AI CapEx cycle, it's not possible that it ends. It is possible that we pull forward a lot of assumptions, which may, in fact, do you hear a timer?
I do.
Wow.
That's the website?
No, that was the clock over here.
Usually it never has a sound.
No, I don't know how I feel about that. It was this update, dude, this Windows update. But yeah, I mean, are we over leveraged? Probably. You know what I don't do very often that I could do is do you remember the COT report?
The COT report? I do not.
You don't.
Cerebras, guys, is still not out yet. We are still.
Wow, Cerebras. So there's NAAIM, which is one thing. And this is a whole nother thing called it comes out for how often? It's the Commitment of Traders report. And it's an inventory report of who has what. So like dealer inventory, this is how people talk about like gamma squeezes and things like that. Right. Asset manager institutions, leverage funds. And over here, you can see like leverage funds. Oops, stop it. Bar chart. Leverage funds, they're leverage negative as of 6/15. Negative. They're negative. They're already leverage negative. But the green asset managers are essentially at peaks. So not
AKA they've deployed a lot of their cash, is your point.
Yeah, they are heavily deployed cash, but the leverage funds are actually net short. Weird, right? Right. So leverage funds are net short, but asset managers are nearly fully deployed. So this kind of like, I'd say dichotomy of whatever, like this should keep us pinned, quite frankly, for a while. And I don't see a reason why that would actually change. The small speculators up here pretty heavily. I think that's as high as they go. Yeah, so you have a lot of small speculators, commercial merchants, non-commercial large speculators. Large speculators, when you have a negative number like this, so institutions, basically net short. Retail, basically net long. And that's honestly exactly what I'm looking at. But this is, you can just snap this. This is pretty exciting.
Okay, so in terms of SPY, you think we are in a healthy range. It feels a little toppy, obviously, because we were at all-time highs. We have to deal with Kevin Warsh. We got Micron tomorrow. But nothing that's ringing the alarm for you that it's over and that the summer is going to be ugly. Like, you don't think there's enough evidence yet to make that argument?
Oh, God, no. How could you? It's not possible.
I agree.
I think it's just far too early for that. Like, it's just far too early for that. Is like, when does earnings season start?
End of July, mostly. No,
end of July. Yeah, so we'll have a little profit taking. I think the biggest thing. What's that?
So mid-July, July 14th, the banks start.
Yeah. So, and we just finished the stress test on the banks also, which I didn't even really realize that we were doing that. But I think overall, this is setting up for a repeat of last week, which if you were trying to take like a big bet last week, honestly, like, I feel like that would have torn out a small piece of your soul, quite frankly. Not last week, the week before, right? When it was at the low and you were like, holy crap. The truth is that we didn't make a new low yet. The bigger concern is that, yeah, this high is lower than that high, and this low is lower than that low. That's right. All true, right? And so right now it's like, if you breach this is what they're talking about. The doomsdayers.
Okay, so here's a question. Earlier in the year, you said, we could have eating season be when it's finally time to get excited.
Yeah.
But obviously we had Iran in the middle, which kind of messes up that thesis because we already had a drawdown. What would need to happen for eating season, aka Thanksgiving, to be the bottom, like it usually is in a midterm year, which means the summer would have to be the top? What do you think has to happen fundamentally and technically for that to play out again?
I think it's Warsh. It's always has to do with the Warsh. What he's talking about, just so everybody knows, I think I can do this here in TradingView now, is September. Is this big enough? Can you guys see this?
Yep.
So this is, what is this? 10 years, 2016 to 2015. I'll throw the averages on also. Yeah, 10 years. So what he's talking about is that September historically, like the worst month in the market, and it's by average. So on average, it's like down 1%. This is after here, somewhere between September and October, because it's not exact science. It's anywhere between these 2 months usually, or even towards the end of November, that will start to bottom out on average, specifically on a midterm election year. So this is a midterm year. What we're talking about is 2023 and 2019. These are the other 2 years that would be.
You mean 2018?
Do I mean 2018?
Yeah, 2018 was midterm, and then 2024 was midterm.
Okay, so
sorry, 2018 and 2022. 2024 also technically was
within the 4-year cycle. So yeah. I'm like, within a 4-year cycle, it would have been. Is it 2024, 2022?
Yeah.
Okay.
2022, we were down 9% in September.
And that was a midterm year?
That was a midterm year, correct. Yep.
Okay, so it looks like, sorry, now I got a lot of like lines on my chart here. But this whole kind of like general area here, somewhere in here, we would typically, seasonally speaking, bottom, right? And so usually the beginnings of the years aren't always that great. 2024 was a little bit of a misnomer. Are you sure 2024 was? This is an election year, not a midterm year, dude.
Oh, but technically it's still a midterm year. Dude,
Okay.
2022 was midterm, so next 2 years later has to be.
Yeah, so it's this one.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're in semantics now. Let's go just general seasonals. Generally speaking, somewhere in this range between late September to it's like this, late September to early November. This is like the bottom. So like we'll do something like this, and then we'll go up the market. Well, that's across this. And so that's what I'm looking at. That's if you were to trade off the calendar, that's typically what you would do. There are times that you can DCA. And I think DCA is usually somewhere in here, and the big DCA somewhere in here, seasonally speaking. So we're heading into what's historically, oddly enough, like a very bullish time of year. And I know everybody says sell in May and go away. Like that's if you sell in May, that's the very beginning of what has been like a very rip your face off kind of rally into what I've always said is July 4th weekend, right? Which is where we typically end up topping out. So I don't want to make any big assumptions here. Usually this is the big, we'll start down and then we'll have a big pump and then we'll come down, and it's literally just like that, the market. So no, I think that's what we'll see. Do we get that moving forward? I mean, time's going to tell. It's not even that big of a, what are we talking about here? Like a couple percent. It's not even that big of a deal. But I think it would have to be Warsh. It would be potentially a credit situation. And Anthropic and OpenAI starting to do their quarterly reports. Like once we start to see those, I think those are the events that I would say, all right, well, if people aren't right now, OpenAI and Anthropic are private. Nobody really knows what they're doing or how the AI industry is tracking. Once that becomes like public knowledge, like every quarter, it kind of changes that dynamic a little bit. And the market may get a little bit more reactionary.
And so then, and okay, on a technical level, then losing 720, I think, is where you would say that's where it can get a little ugly, given 725 was the low 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than that. It's a little more nuanced than that. It's like if we just from here, my gut is that we'll have a green day tomorrow, and we'll close the week probably towards the highs. That's my gut. That would be like a choppy ride, though. I think Micron has everyone on edge at this very moment. And then we get PCE, which from a macro perspective, Thursday, I believe. Is PCE on Thursday, guys?
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, GDP and PCE.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. So today, Wednesday, bank stress tests. That's tomorrow. And then the big one, PCE and GDP. Sorry, that's from my Monday stream. Yeah, that's, and then, oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah. This is my, that was it, right? So essentially here, what's going on? We have which you already talked about, like S&P, NASDAQ 100, and Russell, like what do we call it? Rebalancing, right? Micron earnings is tomorrow. Thursday, PCE and GDP, which it's mostly PCE. Right now, everybody, I think, expects PCE to be hot, which is why we would see what we see. If it's not, boom, instantly, we're right back to the highs. Like Thursday can flip the whole script regardless. So Micron tomorrow, I think, is not just going to affect the memory names, will probably affect the entire AI landscape entirely. And so I think we're just seeing a little bit of profit taking before then. Then it comes out and then the dust will settle. We'll see how we go. Thursday, we get PCE. Tomorrow, we also have a Qualcomm event, which is like, to me, highly anticipated. I think highly anticipated, which could these two events between Micron and Qualcomm, I have a sneaky suspicion that this could trigger the flip between between the market really focusing on the frontier models and the data center training build out to the edge from Micron to Qualcomm. Which one's the shinier thing at what point in time? And then PCE will be our macro kind of read in the meantime. And that's it, right? But yeah, for right now, AI flows for sure. We still have a macro wall. We have a lot of rebalancing. But what we saw out of the gate on Monday was just, it wasn't anything to write home about. I saw it as just passive flows from the rebalancing, and nothing that I would really take seriously. And I think this entire week, what that plays out as in my mind, whether or not it's true, I don't know, literally looks like this. And we stop on a dime, and we might actually come right back down the week after. But at the end of the day, sideways is good. Sideways is healthy, especially after the run that we've had. Like, look at this chart, dude. Like, can we just just for a minute, can we look at this? Let me zoom out.
But no one cares, man. No, that's the problem. You're right. You're 100% right.
How do we not care? Like, what are we talking about here?
Oh, I get it. We're up from 630 and the March lows. It's made a hell of a move since then. You're not wrong.
And if you're not, like, look, if you, here's that prior kind of top. If we do get a pullback, that literally takes us just slightly under 700. Yeah, man, I think that's an opportunity. And that, technically speaking, is what the opportunity would look like. And I'll just pull this.
By the way, for the people asking for the midterm years, so it was 2022, 2018, not 24, not 23. So
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not 2023, not 2024. That was my mistake. 2018, we were down 4.5%.
Yeah.
2022, we were down 19%. So if we actually do end up green on the year, we're up like 7% this year. It would be the first in basically 8 years that a midterm ended up being green.
Yeah. So 2022. Wait, which one was it? It should have been 2024.
No, it's 2024 was an election year, not a midterm year, as you said.
Okay.
2018 and 2022, and then 2026 will be the next one.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. So check this out. So we're here, 2026. Midterm election years. Bingo. That's the number I was looking for. On average, down. You guys see that?
Yeah, there are literally the only 2 red years in the last 10. That's incredible.
Yeah. And it usually starts out right where we are. Literally right here. Let me just change the color. February,
Dude,
March.
Can you zoom in? That is crazy how similar that is.
2022 is a little different slightly, but you know, this is what we're looking at. This is a midterm election year. And so how does that translate? Like, what does the eating season look like? It looks like a bigger dump right in here. That's not the biggest thing though. The biggest thing is that if I look into here, this summer, these summer months, normally on summer, like outside of an election year, outside of an election year, this May, June, July area right here, this is actually the difference. So this May, June, July, where we are right now, these are usually very, very big. You have a 4.5%, 5%, 3, you got a 6, 4, 6, 5. You have big months in this summer months, but in the election year, not so much. Like they're very tiny, right? And so this, in fact, to me, like they're okay, but these end up being, well, you got a big 9 one. You got a 9% here. You got a big red one. It's the span of this 3 months that we're actually coming into right now. Of like how high can that pop take us? Because yeah, September across the board, we typically do bottom out. So that's, I think it's about these summer months, and do they really do we? That's a little bit better. Huh? Sorry, that's way better for you guys. Should have had that like that a while ago. It's about these kind of like summer months. How strong can we hold? May, June, July here. Can we get this kind of a rally, which we don't always see?
Right. Okay, let's get into the other names. Let's start off with Micron. And guys, Cerebras is not out yet. I don't know what the heck's going on there. They're calling 18 minutes, but as soon as we get the numbers, I'll let you guys know.
Cerebras. Okay, where are we going? Sorry, guys. All right, am I good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, the cow. Moo. You have to do sound effects. If you don't do sound effects on Micron, whenever we do it, it doesn't really count. So, anyways, yeah, we're still from the last breakout of consolidation, which is, by the way, way down here, still firmly inside the channel. This is that red and green. I'll just call this a channel. So tomorrow, I think I don't know what I'd have to guess, or I'd have to let's see. Micron is just a site. Earnings. So this seems a little low, but the average move for Micron is 6.53%. You kind of see it right there. 10%, couple years. Doesn't look like they really 16% down, 14%. I don't have a brokerage open, so you guys can kind of see, but if find out if they're cheap or expensive. So if that's okay, so that little blip on the radar to 985 is down 8%. That looks like a buy to me. On average, that's about what they would move. I don't think you're going to make any money if you try to trade this directionally with options. That actually looks like a sell options play. Pretty, and upside would be okay. So there's nothing. Micron's not going anywhere tomorrow, guys. Decided. So there's no, when I see this setup, basically there's nothing that can happen on this chart that's really going to make or break it either way. We have two session gaps on both sides, one to the upside up here, and then one to the downside right here, both of which are within an average move for Micron over earnings. Neither one of these does anything to the chart. When I see a setup like this, a lot of times they just go flat. So that puts downside somewhere around $900 with an upside around 12. Probably not going to make any money if you try to trade that with options, like I said, because that's likely baked in. So yeah, Micron can't technically do anything unless this thing drops 30%. Even if it does drop, no, because yeah, think about it. If Micron drops 30%, what are you going to do? What's the chat going to do?
What price is that? Where that's below like
735. Like run a poll. If Micron drops 30%, this is my gut right now, literally right this moment. If Micron drops 30%, let's say they go to, this is a measurement from the low, recent low to extreme high. So from 431 for whatever this is, 300 to 1200. 50% of that move is literally 780. 30% off the highs is literally 780. 30% from here, 25% down tomorrow takes you to 780.
Real quick, Cerebras revenue 193 versus 181. They announced the $20 billion OpenAI deal. Stock is down 2%. So nothing too crazy from Cerebras, at least.
Yeah, Cerebras at least is bottoming, starting to bottom, trying to.
Okay, so in terms of Micron, you think there would have to be a really big piece of news for the market to actually take it down to the levels we saw a month ago? Like when it fell from 450 to 300 in March, You think
That's
that type of drop is not as easy? I mean, it could happen, but
I think it is easy, but I think it could easily happen. I just don't think that it will, like that. This area, I think that this whole area is technical support right in here between 780 and 640. Technically, this is support. So, and if that were to happen, let's just make this green so everybody sees it. So what this is 50% measured from this extreme low to this extreme high. This is very basic. That's 780. Like the area that's going to give you an edge a little bit is as close to 750 as you can get from a technical perspective. 650. That is right in here, just slightly below this little wick here, and that also would still be a normal pullback for any normal stock. I mean, if I were to just so people understand, it's like if I were to do it from a smaller perspective, right here, time's up. This timer, dude. If I were to do it from a smaller perspective, just measuring from this move, extreme low to extreme high, literally 50% is right here, 870. That's just this one. And then if you were to get an edge, that would have been 800. That's what happens. Like you have a big move, 50% pullback, giving back half of it. It's normal. I'm just measuring it from a absolute extreme in this instance.
Okay. Final numbers on Cerebras. Core revenue, they're guiding for 865 million, up 70% year over year. Gross margins, they're guiding for 41%. Q2, they're guiding for 194 million, 88% year over year, gross margin of 38%. And then they beat on revenue by 12 million. They also beat on EPS. Street thought they would lose 29 cents a share. They only lost 22 cents a share, which is up 52% year over year. The stock is down about 3%, but looks like a relatively decent print for Cerebras.
You like the microscope candles?
Where? Oh,
they can't really see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't as volatile, folks. 3%. It's not really the average move that some of these semi names have done. Okay, so that's Micron.
Yeah, Cerebras doesn't look that bad at all. Like if I were to just zoom out, I'm like, you look at this and I'm like, well, somebody's buying this. Who? I don't know. OpenAI is coming. They have a big deal with Cerebras. They're probably going to talk about them at some point when they start going. Who knows?
Okay, let's do Palantir. And Bonneville, thank you for the super chat. Hey, mate, love the channel. We can't forget 2022 was the biggest rate hike we saw since 2020. I think it means since like the 1980s. Macroeconomics played a major factor there. That's a great point. Like we're comparing the midterm year to 2022, but it's the largest rate hike we had in 40 years. So technically,
I think
that was a big catalyst.
Yeah. Is it Bonneville? Is that how you pronounce that? That's how we're going to pronounce it, is Bonneville. But, you know, I think that is exactly the issue. Like, we don't know what we don't know. Warsh can come out and do some wild shenanigans. And so I think it's just you have a little bit of, you know, investor hesitation. You have a mix of some profit taking. You have a, you know, and a little anxiety and a little seasonality kind of driving this pull out. But at the same time, underneath all of it, you have the biggest AI build out, the biggest our industrial revolution 2.0, right? Like holding everything up. So yeah, I'm fine.
All right, Palantir.
Oh, that's right.
Don't tell us it's going to 80. What do you think?
No. I have 114. So Palantir, I actually have I have a very I don't know if you're gonna like this or not. I have no idea what your take is gonna be, but you know, I'm just
before we get into that, did you buy it all around here?
Yeah, no? Yeah, but don't shoot the messenger here. A little bit nibbled. This is I think it's a trading setup right now. I cannot say that it's I cannot say it's investing setup. So 114 and I'll just you know what I'll do is I'll show you. It's the same scenario. So on Palantir, that 114 where it comes from, I use after hours. So the high, all-time high was like 220 something after hours, and I'm literally anchoring to the all-time lows. Because at this point, all the near-term price action is kind of noisy, and you do have a very hot and heavy, let's just call this head and shoulders, that has played out once. I know it's small on the screen, but it's because it's not the point, right? The head and shoulders is played out. It is complete. What I'm measuring here from this all-time high and that all-time low is, where is that 50% mark? It's literally right here at 114. So statistically, technically, 114 is that first stop that is the next stop, right? And from a trend count perspective, what we actually have is we have, unfortunately, a series of, call it higher highs, high, higher high. This is higher than that high, technically, but also at the same time, a series of lower lows, low, low, lower low. So this combination puts us into what we would actually consider as price discovery. This is the definition of a trappy market or trappy setup, not choppy setup, where both support breaks and resistance breaks for a time, but never holds. And you just end up going to this price discovery mode, which is actually not bad. That said, 114 should be that very next stop, which is literally like tomorrow, open red, close green, potentially on Palantir. That said, you don't really want to see this lose this general area here about 109. If Palantir loses 109, the probability of getting low 80s extremely high, maybe like 70% high. That's just what happens. But right here, right now, this is the spot where basically support, again, it's not a line in the sand. This is a scenario where what was support in the past is getting tested right now, and we just want to find out, hey, look, is this support area going to act like the trampoline, where sometimes you go slightly lower, like you bounce in and it bounces right back, and it ends up, like you hold a beach ball underwater and it just goes poof, right back up, but doesn't actually hold and does it again. That's frustrating, but this is the setup. Or is the trampoline just gonna, like the canvas, gonna break? And that looks like that. If it does, like if you just bounce through the floor, that's what that would look like.
What is your gut telling you on what you think could play out?
Oh, dude, we got earnings soon. My gut tells me that like people are getting bored, frustrated, like Robinhood not that long ago. And my gut is telling me this is a liquidity grab near term. And then just before earnings, which is about 3 weeks from now. So maybe this whole week we could have like a chop like this, and then you get that. And right before earnings, August, you get another bounce that ends up looking very much like this. Now, does that mean that this is the low? Like I was saying before, I can't say that. This is a trading setup, short to medium term. Long term, it depends on what happens. It depends on how high the next move to the upside is, which means that I have to finish the downside move first, and we're kind of actively in it. So I would have to give it a couple more weeks before I can get a read, but I would say prepare for a local low to show up sooner than later. Is this looks like, unless something dumb happens or people just completely give up, what is this drop? This is what technicals would tell me, that
that's like 40%,
my
right?
clock is over. It would tell me like another 30%.
30%.
But yeah, I can't see that happening without earnings actually pushing that, or some kind of other catalyst. I just don't, I can't fathom that in that short of order. And, at that point in time, even if that does happen and we're on earnings, like I would see this, because this $80, that's a buy, period, end of story. That is a screaming buy. that's when you go, if you see that, that's you go, you want to have money saved up for that kind of moment, because you're going to bounce and you're going to bounce up 30%, near like right there. Does that mean that it keeps going up? No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that this area becomes a trading range. If that happens, that's a 40% bounce. We saw something similar to that on Hood. And yeah, that's just how this would play out. So you have if this does break below 114, you have a big flush coming likely, but wait, don't jump in front of it unless you're not active. If you're active, you'll be able to see it happen as close to 80 as possible. But this was kind of like my sentiment way early on, but this scenario here on Palantir is kind of one of those where like, I don't know that I'm going to get it. So somewhere around here is probably a good place to start nibbling. And that's why I bought, really.
Okay. Cerebras is down about 6%. Earnings were decent, but Street's taking it down right here. Fedex also down about 5.7.
Changed it.
We can go to the 2-minute timer. We don't have to do 5 anymore. Nebius. Curious about that.
You know, well, I took it in the draft. It was.
Oh,
I
you
wasn't
did take it in the draft. I forgot.
I wasn't gonna take it in the draft, but it was like that last minute change that I was like, it was like the one that stood out to me. I was like, I feel like this is gonna be a good stock long term.
Dude, the problem is we all took names that just had a monster Thursday rally, and that's why all of our portfolios are down. Because, I'm
gonna do a video. I'm probably gonna record it tonight on like my logic and stuff on mine, because like I feel like I took a lot of names that most people don't understand or don't really know, and like how they all fit together and all that kind of stuff. I think that for at least for my audience, would be helpful to understand at least, so it doesn't look like I'm actually just slapping 12 symbols together, trying with no thought process. But just so everybody knows, that this is a competition on the stock draft. It's still anyone's game, I believe thoroughly. And I had zero intention to try and build a balanced, durable portfolio like you normally would to last 3 to 5 years. I'm not doing that in a competition. But anyways, Nebius, same thing, channel up. We are actually not bad. So this is holding fairly strong, actually holding in like the top half of this channel, right in here. This could come down a little bit deeper. I'd say there's a little session gap around 236, which would be kind of par for the course, honestly. If it's over 285, or 290, if it's over 290, it's just continuing. And it should go into like the 350 area. But if we lose this 250, then yeah, we're gonna get a deeper pullback, which could be, last time I said, as low as 214. I think 235 is more appropriate at this point, but it's still possible to be as low as 215. Nebius can kind of overshoot one way or the other. But that's where we are. And that would honestly just kind of create a new, let's call it consolidation range, something in here between 285 and 215, with a like the low end breach being somewhere like 175s, something like that. If that 215 were to get, if price were to lose 215, then it's down to 170s, high 170s. But I don't see that happening right now, like at all. And yeah, I would buy actually the stock in that instance. I'm happy with this though.
CoreWeave.
Do you want to trade Nebius for something in the stock draft? Do you want to? Do you have anything?
Not really.
Because not really.
Dude, the problem is you're in at 289, just like I'm in SanDisk at like 2100. Like we're all just in at very high prices. So we got to give it time to see how it plays out, Because one red day for the stock market, it's just a battle of who's less red than the other. But
yeah,
we're all red.
Yeah,
because none of us went the Berkshire route, you know. So it's like,
no, that's not going to matter. Even if you did, you wouldn't be green right now. Like there's very few. It's just, I think it's just a wait. Okay, what's next on the timer?
CRWV. Guys, for those asking about Cerebras, we already went through it. I do not know why it's down. The numbers were good. The market will be the market and take things down or up for whatever reason, but triple beat across the board. I mean, it's just an ugly day for any company to report. So it's probably why Cerebras is feeling the pain right now.
Triple beat and skeet. No problem. Yeah, so this is your real support. We just came out of it right around 92s before. And so this pullback is fine. Technically speaking, this can, as long, the best hold is literally this morning. Ooh. If it loses 103, then this should come back down and retest this area here again to the 92s. You just on CoreWeave, if it loses 90s, then you're going all the way back down to the lower support. So moral of this story is you have 3 levels of support. One literally here now. The one below that is 94. And then below that is as close to 70 as you can. For right now, it's holding 103s, which actually is not bad. Let me just take a quick peek here. Yeah, so this is perfectly aligned. Again, like what I'm doing is just I'm taking from this typical, like this low to this high. We're definitively in a range. This is a very short-term view here, but that kind of like sweet spot of a pullback, it's 103, right? If this is over 106.5 tomorrow, then you actually should be heading probably to the 125s. But that's it, right? The near term or longer term, this is a much, I think I said this last time. This is not really going anywhere longer term. What we're looking for is like this kind of like rounding kind of bottom to really play out. And so we already got one. You have a breakout here below, call it this trend line, which is this guy. Even if, and so this will make more sense. Even though this downtrend is broken, if it comes back down and you do get this retest over here, again, that's a buy. That's the best technical retest. You have a breakout and then you have a retest of the broken trend line. If it holds, which what that looks like is you go a little bit sideways and then you break out again. This scenario that I kind of just outlined, like that scenario is what creates that rounding bottom down here. And so no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this chart. It's just a matter of are you expecting something crazy right now? Because you shouldn't be. And in the meantime, yeah, that'll set you up for a better move into the next earnings. Something like Cerebras or CoreWeave specifically, it's the neo clouds, the power grab neo clouds, and the ones that are the one thing. Back to your very first question, it's not CoreWeave that could bring the market down. It's the ability in the capital markets for those power grab plays and some neo clouds, the ones that are raising capital, to continue to raise capital and have access to capital. If they can no longer get capital as easily for whatever reason, that's one thing that would in the near term probably take the market down a little bit. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, all these neoclouds are levered up. So you're right. If access to capital disappeared,
yeah,
which
this is why Nebius is like the least, right? Like not really even. Yeah, that I think what you see, not only that, but their profitability. It's literally that. That's the difference from a business, in my mind, in my opinion. It's literally that difference that changes the story for them. But anyways, moving on.
SpaceX.
How loud is that alarm? Because I really don't know how to change. Right.
I actually like it though. It's good. It's like it's a warning for us to just move on. So I like it.
So Tuesday we were here. This was Tuesday, and literally go back and on Tuesday I said that was it. If you were in it for a trade, then you should be done. This was a measurement from the first day of trading's range, and it was momentum trade, like first target 1, target 2, target 3, but the second that you cannot hold and maintain a target, which you try to, and you don't get over that 216 over here, that is done. And you should go down at least to this area right here. And I kind of outlined 190 support, which was support for a day, following day 175. And then here we are. Wow. I didn't realize we actually got to 150. So we actually got to 150, full retrace. The lows is 140, 150. I didn't hit the timer, so I'll try to be fast on this. If we this okay, so Matt short Matt short this one. If 149.80 doesn't hold, firm support is, so this is measured via extensions, about $100 sub. So it's 111 to 100. That what I'm talking about here is that if you were to be short, your downside target should be just over, not under, just over $100. And I think that, you know what we're going to do here, Amit? We're going to go out and put money on if SpaceX trades below 145, this is going to 100 and likely 75, so just under 75. If it loses that number, then we're also likely going to 35. You know,
I don't know, man.
But these are technical measurements. So that's support right now is going to be right around just over 100, but that doesn't happen. It's on support right now. If it were to break below this level, that's where it should go, technically speaking. And if it loses 100, it is 75s, give or take. But
100, I could legit see when people start dumping their shares. Like that thing could.
Yeah, it's not. So what happened today? Get this. So today, just from a daily perspective, and I'll give you the reverse, and then I'll be done with this ticker because we got to move on. Yesterday's low. Here's the one caveat. It's like I said, it's on support right now. So yesterday's low is whatever that number is, 154. I'm not talking about the IPO low. I'm talking about yesterday's closing low, 154. As long as this is trading above 154, that whole downside scenario, it's not happening. Just to be crystal clear. And what should happen first, because you're no longer at that point going down, what should happen first is that this actually comes up into 175 resistance over here, which is that last breakdown area. And this now is where the resistance is. So on SpaceX, 175 to 180, that is your overhead resistance. And support, you're on support. And I just gave you the levels if you break support. But so far, you have not broken support. All right, moving on.
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA, I think I said last time too, is just let it breach. Basically, let it breach 190. 200. Sorry. Whenever I say the things like I said, I was last Tuesday, you gave me that like, could it go below 200? I said, yeah, for sure. And you got mad at me. Do you remember that? The chat remembers. But
no, I don't think I'm mad at you for saying below 200. You said 160.
Did I say 160?
Which was the March low. That's where I was like.
But you're not actually mad at me.
No,
either.
I legit wanted to like never talk to you again.
Yeah. So right here, this is the first spot. So if this loses 200, it should be 190. And right now, this is that first level of support. You very likely want to buy this around 190. Again, this is measured from this extreme low to this extreme high. Let me actually looks like I messed up just a little bit. Let me get this pinpoint accurate. Yeah, so that's about $200, literally right on it right now. So I think this is more of a watch. If we see buyers come in hot and heavy, and this is your triggered back to the upside is above 205. So if this is over 205, Yeah.
Do you think 190 is a buy if it gets there?
Yeah. Yeah. I do. That's where you have an edge. I have Confluence. So context is that it's about the 200-day simple moving average. It can breach below that slightly. That's fine. But anything under 190, this becomes a buy, or at least DCA below 190. Confluence is this on the right-hand side of my screen. This is volume by price. This is the biggest cohort of buyers right now. You just have a very small one right here at 200. You can look at my screen and you'll be like, oh, that's these bars. What that is, it's like how many buyers and sellers. It's not comparatively. It's like a nothing burger, right? Like this is where everybody is. That many people are at 200 and this many people are at 215. Everybody's stacked up below 200. So that's honestly where most of the buying and selling has been happening. So that, yeah, in the 180s is anything under 190. Yeah, that's where you DCA. If you're below 160, then you're in trouble. But
so here's a question for you. The fact that it's been essentially flirting with going below 200 for the past month, technically, how do you interpret that? Is that a sign of it wants to, if it keeps getting there, then bounces, gets there and bounces every other day? Like, do you think it's inevitable that it ends up visiting that?
Below 200?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. But does it matter? Like, no. So again, like taking it another way. So the more ways that I can see the same number, if I do this technical, I can look at it from 100 different angles. My time's up on this one, but like, again, same thing. Here was that prior, we're going to call this a downtrend right here, this prevailing downtrend. You have one breakout and then you have a retest here. That's good, right? And it continues on back to the upside. You'd want to hold it, but look, honestly, if this comes in, even if it comes down and you have this back into the 190 area, it's still the same break and retest. And I would expect this to start bouncing from there. That's, and again, that same level, like if this general area ends up being support, right, around 190, and you have this pullback into that area, yeah, I expect buyers to step in. And what I was saying before is if they don't, well, what's likely to happen? Well, what's likely to happen is then you're in more trouble. And down here, yeah, you have to revisit the lows, but below 160, you're in a lot of trouble. And because then it's like you're full blown price discovery again. And we'll have to see, but if this is bought up around 190, that is basically how you would get to the 260, 250 zone right over here. So like if that takes it like this, and at that point I could actually take this off, I can take this off, and I could say, let's just theoretically speaking, if this is the lows right around here, yeah, this takes me, yeah, that takes me to the same thing. So I have even more confluence that literally this dip, if you get it, is exactly the dip that would set you up for this type of move in that 260, 270 area. That's how that would happen. And so, no, I wouldn't get discouraged here. This is like how many years of going sideways? I'm way over time.
Well, this is also a good point. NVIDIA always gets stuck in a channel it was stuck at 150 for almost 7 months in 25.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Okay, AMD. You think this thing can hold 500? Or
just funny. Just keep those lines. No one liked the other ones. I love it.
Dude, Joanne, for those that don't know, she is absolutely incredible. She was at the New York meetup. She loves you, by the way, Jason.
I love it.
And, she's invested in Microsoft and Meta and NVIDIA and all these amazing companies. And she is frustrated, just like a lot of people, around why these names haven't moved this year. But I think all of our patience is tested. It's not that we're wrong on these companies at the end of the day.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And I think those are the companies that, like, if it were to go down like that, like seasonally historicals, dude, it's probably still a generational buying opportunity, because in the next 24 months, we're about from late Q3, 24 months after late Q3 of this year, statistically, again, if you trade with the calendar, we're about to enter the most bullish cycle, the most bullish 24-month stretch in the market.
Well, also,
So,
just from a technological perspective, every time we see these dips or we have these ugly red days like today, you just remember the next few years are going to be the craziest years we've seen. Robotics, self-driving, all this stuff.
oh yeah,
Around, and all of that is just going to lead to a lot more growth. There's not going to be, every stock going up 1,000%, but the broader economy, and if you play a role in that new AI economy, you're going to benefit from it, even if in the short term your CEO wants to make prediction markets for 4 billion people.
Yeah,
so
100%. Even if your CEO wants to make predictions.
Did you hear that news today about Meta? We'll talk about Meta.
About Robinhood, or what was that, a jab?
No, it's about Meta. Did you hear the news about Zucks?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, well, let's do Meta first before we do AMD. Let's do Meta first. Zucks is trying to build an app called Arena, which would be a prediction market that doesn't let you bet with real money yet. It would be simulated points. And the New York Times reported he wants this to be the #1 focus beyond Instagram and Facebook for the
what?
Future. Yes,
he said that out loud.
That is what sources have told me.
Like, who's the source? This is sus. He's on
the
it.
Fact that
he's doing it again.
The app called Arenas this is why Robinhood fell, by the way. Robinhood fell from freaking 105 to 102 when this headline came out, because the market was like, oh, Meta's about to compete with Vlad.
I'm just gonna go out there and say this one time. That kind of feels like grasping at straws.
I agree.
Legit.
You and me have defended Zucks this whole year. This one's not defendable, in my opinion. You can't spend 145 billion and tell me prediction markets are something you need to focus on.
So, yeah, Meta is one where I would say, listen, I know it was almost at $1,000 and it's about like 500 something. If you're long term, this is one where I would put on the shopping list for the eating season.
Oh wow, Jason, I got to stop you real quick. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at it. What company just joined the Dow Jones? Don't look at the chat. Jason, guess. Did you look at the chat? Don't look at the chat.
I'm not looking.
No, not Meta. One more guess. This is a big one. This is big news. Corning. Qualcomm. These are the top 30 companies in the United States that want to be in the index for the next 100 years.
Oh,
what company?
Travelers.
Okay, you have 2 more guesses. Don't look at the chat.
I'm not looking at the chat. Chat is over there. Hold on. So
wow, this is actually big news, bro.
Okay, so Goldman Sachs, J&J, JP Morgan, Travelers, UNH. So they just put Amazon in, Microsoft in. Google is not in the Dow 30. So it's got to be Google.
It is indeed Google, baby.
Yeah.
Google is joining the Dow Jones.
Yeah. You know, my process of elimination on that one.
Oh, that was actually really good. I knew you would get
it. Process of elimination. I have had 28. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. They just added Amazon.
Well, who's leaving?
Travelers.
Oh, by the way, Honeywell. Don't you have Honeywell in the draft? They just joined the S&P 500.
Yeah, I have in the draft.
Goog getting a nice $2 move after hours. You would think it'd be a little bit more, but still. So that means all these indices that are proxies for the Dow Jones are going to have to buy them some Google here.
Yeah, I actually, when I just looked at my list here, I'm like, whoa, Google's not in the Dow 30.
Verizon got kicked out.
Wow. How are you going to kick Verizon out before you kick Travelers out? Help me understand why Travelers is, well, it's insurance, right? Like Travelers is in the Dow 30.
Now I know why Berkshire bought 10 billion at 350. These guys had to know that Google was about to have a massive catalyst that would put pressure on buying shares.
They don't know.
There's no way Warren Buffett
But
did not call
if I was
everybody.
just looking at the indices, like if you share my screen, you could have factored that by the same way I did. Like this is just like process of elimination. So far, 29 of the top of the 30 Dow Jones industrials. I do track these, right, from the DJ30. There's no, I'm like, oh shoot, there is no Googles. They just put Amazon in. They just put Microsoft in. They can't take freaking CRM out because they literally just put CRM in like a couple of years ago. Yeah, this is the one. They can't, I guess they can't really kick Travelers out. They don't have, do they have another insurance? No. They could have kicked Dow Chemical out.
Wait, so the companies, Cisco, McDonald's, Disney, yeah, they could have kicked out the chemicals. They kicked out Verizon.
Yeah, they have two. They have Visa and American Express. No MasterCard. They don't need MasterCard though. So because they have two. They have these two. One of these could go at some point. Yeah, and you have Dow and you have 3M. Although 3M kind of just no, 3M still has it. You're good. Yeah, you can't. You could. Yeah, it would have to be Verizon or American Express that gets kicked out again on the next. Not Verizon, Visa. It would have to be Visa or an American Express that gets kicked out to let somebody else in because they don't need two payment processors. But this was the only telecom.
So it's Amazon, NVIDIA, Google, Apple as your Mag 7s.
No, it's NVIDIA.
Oh, Microsoft's in there as well.
Yeah, so they put NVIDIA, Microsoft was the first one. No, Apple was the first one. The Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon was the most recent one here. That's how you would get to. I mean, they're not putting Tesla in there. Sorry, guys.
Dude, this is but 4 out of the 7. This is like a little tech heavy now. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, NVIDIA, Google. 5.
Yeah.
That's a serious amount of tech. That's 5 out of 7 of the Max 7s.
I mean, this was a bad call.
Yeah, Salesforce. Is Nike still in there?
No.
Nike's out, right?
Nike's out. Yeah. I feel like this one feels like it's at risk. And maybe Dow Chemicals. But this would make sense. One of these two. No, I mean, not Verizon. American Express or Visa. I don't know why they have double there. But
okay, folks, that's a pretty big piece of news. Google officially in the Dow Jones. That definitely, I think, takes a little bit of a pressure off some of the shares that got traded over the past couple of days. And I don't know if that means it's going to be priced in tomorrow and this thing rockets back up to 360, but it's at 349 after hours. Maybe 350 is the magnet.
We can do it next. Do you want to finish?
Yeah, let's finish Meta. We'll do it.
Meta. It's the MEATA, right? Meta. So yeah, I think this is a little hot. It's a little heavy. So, if bulls are bearish and umbrellas if bulls are bullish, if bulls are bullish and umbrellas are bearish, it just doesn't have a, it's setting up to be a little bit of a whoosh for a bit, which not anytime soon. That would be like long-term, months. Sorry. I don't know if that's long-term or not. We're not there yet. It's very close. To me, we have, and I'll put my drawings back on. So to me, we have actually given this more than enough opportunity to do well. So again, measuring from extreme low to extreme high, literally 50% is 440s. And right in here, which when you first asked me, when Meta was up here, and you said, at what price would I like just this is stupid and buy it no matter what. And I think I said 350. It came from this same measurement. And so right around there is like the one anywhere in that general between 450 and 350. Who knows what you get? But for right now, this moment that we were measuring from this prior blip, which is from here to here, same thing. This first stop that was possibly the low, dude. And I'll zoom in one more time. See all the buyers and all the volume up here. They turn out to be sellers, mostly in the 600s. So far, this is a process. It's not an event. If it does break down, I forgot to hit the super play button again. Sorry. And last time we were here, I was looking at this general area of like, well, this would have to be it, right? So like maybe you could take another shot. But the problem is that, and the real problem is that this 595 to about 585 area, which was support, is now actually acting as resistance. Like we saw it act as resistance right here. That's not good. And I see a lot of volume showing up here across the board. I don't want to see the people that were buying all over here in the past turn into sellers. That's how this happens. So I don't think this is going to be an event. Again, this is a process. If it does, I think if it dips again, it's probably viable for a trade. Again, not really where I want to say definitively this is the low, because you could have a big face ripping bounce, maybe even get up to here, and then that's how this would set up. So I'd be a little bit more cautious than optimistic. This scenario is more of a, if I see close to 500, sell some like 450 puts. That's what this sets up as. It's not necessarily, it's either do that if you really want to own it after another big red day, not today, or take a very cheap upside short dated trade on it.
So what is your load up the truck price now that it's
still 350s.
350.
Yeah, but that
I know you said you got that number from the levels you were showing me before, but do you not think that like 450-ish, 475 at
it's below, but you said load of the truck, and here we go again. Semantics. But this is a buy, anything below 450 down to three and change. That it is a buy down there for sure. But if you don't own it, which by the way, I haven't owned a lot of Meta for a long time. Like honestly, you could start nibbling, but just be prepared for significantly lower if it happens, and pray that it does happen. And just like, dude, yeah, I want to be ready. If I get that kind of a discount, yeah, like for sure. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not going to be as good as what we got before, which was whatever this was, you know, in the moment, 76% drawdown. What is 76% drawdown?
It would be 50.
That's 60% drawdown. It'd probably be something just like that, right?
50, 60.
Yeah, 76 is just under 200. I mean, that's the thing. You got to buy it at 200 also. Like for sure.
But here's the thing. Like if Meta's at 350, there's no way the other Mag 7s are just peachy clean.
No, yeah.
Right.
So if Zuck's the only way that happens, that this happens, this whole, you know, play the tape out kind of scenario is like, okay, Meta would have to be it would have to be running at a negative cash flow, right? Which means that he's still going crazy with the AI data center build out, which again, like supports the whole thesis. That's not going away, right? He'd have to be going heavy there. Then he'd also at the same time have to be going heavy CapEx into, I don't know, prediction markets. Then his sanity would have to be questioned also, because he's and that makes sense. If he's going into prediction markets, people would be thinking like, what is this guy on? That's the scenario that has to happen for Meta to come down like that. And if we're slowly going down that road, sure, it could happen. That's exactly the scenario that happened over here, right? And it's just a matter of like, okay, when's the bottom, right? Like what you buy, like when do you buy? You don't know, but usually when everybody in them was like, this guy's lost it, right? When they've decided that he's lost it, that's usually the low. Like, don't take your shot till you see the whites of their eyes. Like, it's usually something like that.
Okay, let's do AMD, then Google real quick though before AMD.
We're already there, Jason. I don't know, Julia.
I hope we are. Before we do AMD, just real quick, here's the Google coverage on Dow Jones.
So what's the news?
A bit of a shakeup here, Brian. You've got the S&P Dow Jones indices saying that Alphabet will replace Verizon and the Dow Jones Industrial Average before the open on Monday, June 29th, really giving the Dow more exposure to mega cap tech and the AI trade. Honeywell Aerospace will join the S&P 500 on Monday, replacing Conagra. Honeywell Technologies will remain in the S&P 500. What I will say is a bit of a symbolic shift. You've got Verizon becoming almost immaterial to the Dow lately because it's a lower priced stock and a price weighted index. S&P said in this release that it represented just half of 1 percentage point in the index. Alphabet, of course, has a much larger share price and market cap, making it more representative of that communication services sector. And I will say the change comes as Alphabet's been under pressure this week. You and I were chatting about the sell-off on Monday. So shifts coming up in less than a week from now.
Okay. There you go.
I just put in the chat, dude. So that's actually a much bigger deal than you had stated.
About Honeywell, right?
No, that's not what she's. So they're not doing Honeywell. She said Honeywell Aerospace, which by that time will be a ticker, but that ticker does not exist today. That's going to be HONA.
Oh,
so
you're right.
Yeah. Split, and for every 2 shares of Honeywell, you only get 1 share of Honeywell Aerospace. They're literally just putting Honeywell Aerospace, not Honeywell it's the smaller portion of the spin that's going in. They just did that they did the same thing, right? With FedEx Freight. FedEx spun off their freight business and they only took the spin-off piece and put it in. That's a new thing they're doing.
No, you're right. That makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
We were supposed
AMD.
to do. Oh, shit.
Let's do AMD first.
All right. Starting the timer. Here we go. Sorry, guys. It's Amit.
No, but then if I tell you to press the timer, everyone's like, wow, Amit's such a dick. There's no way we could win, but if you don't press it, you get shit. If I tell you to press it, I get shit.
Yeah. So look, we are sustained momentum right now. It's perfectly fine. The one issue is like 546.5. This little top area right here, it's still battling. So people are a bit hesitant to continue the momentum. Once you do have momentum over 545, you should see that 600. I don't know if it's going to be news driven or what, but I'm just giving you guys the levels. That's where it's going to be. Meantime, your support is around 500 in the 20-day right in here. So between 508 to 490, that is support right over here. This can pull in and do something like that as it builds, essentially, for a trajectory like that. You just don't want to see it below 490. Below 490, then this does have to come in significantly. And that's more towards the 50-day simple moving average, which right now is closer to like low fours, very low fours. Let me take that back. The lowest that this can go and hold momentum and hold the entire series of higher highs, the channel, if you will, is 437. There is a small session gap. So this is not a broken chart by any means. This chart is fully intact. It's just building up for a move. Support, again, like I said, is first level of support, 490s, just underneath 500. Second level of support is in that 440 level, 444. But below that, basically below 415, this is in deeper doo-doo. And then you do have a new trend to the downside, which means retracement. So not there yet, perfectly fine. Upside targets remain just over 6, potentially higher. But right now it's just building. It's building into the next move. So it's in pause. It's paused. No trade, just kind of wait and watch. All right, next.
Google.
The Googs. Or if you're already long, just hang in there. 350 was support. That's the prior top right here. This area. Right there. Pivot right here. And was support here. So between 340 and 350, this area, that's support. And I have, again, confluence that all these buyers here. Like if this 350, 349 doesn't hold, it's fine. Resistance is back into 365, right? Where that 20 and the blue and the white lines are here. Dude, did I not? You got to yell at me. Let me just get some confluence. Yeah, so up to 370, that's, wow. If this actually bounces quite a bit, then maximum support, maximum resistance is at 380 right here. For now, it is nearing support. If this is below 338, basically below today's low, that bounce is just a dead cat bounce and not a big deal. And then your deeper support is in the 300s. But this is definitively the first level support anyways on this one. It has been since the beginning of this guy, like since this right here, 340 on the dot is that, again, that typical 50% range. If you lose 340, you are very likely going to see sub 320, just barely sub 320, but that's your support. Your major support 320, minor support 340, resistance, whatever I said, 375. Cool. I don't actually need. Do you want to go on this speed here? Or are we gonna go?
We could do a minute. A minute's easier because we've got a lot of tickers. So a minute is fine.
1 minute. How about a
Yeah,
minute?
130 is good. 130 is good. All right, we'll get into rapid fire. Start running through these tickers again. Thank you all for being here. Jason's X, please make sure you are following him. He drops a lot of alpha on X. His Discord also is in his bio. You can join that for free.
Yeah.
So
I'd stopped by earlier this morning for a second and I saw Amit run this poll. I'm curious if you want, how many people are actually still 30%, almost 30% from your morning stream was full-time traders. That blew my
I was
mind.
shocked, dude. I thought it would be 5 or 10%. I was telling Jason, I was like, I think this is why people watch Technical Tuesday, because if you're a trader, like this is probably valuable, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it makes sense that people care about it given they trade. All right, let's start getting into it.
Yeah, we saw her in the chat. You got to get him up. So this is the lab of rockets. This was a perfect technical retest before right here. Just why is that going off right now? Okay. That was 99.58. We said we don't really want to see that you don't want to see the 99.58 not hold. Today it didn't hold. I think, you don't want to see it come up and then reject 99.58. That is if you see if you're long, I think if you're long, you're fine. But if you're in options, if you see this right around 99.58 and then you see it reject, that's your get out of jail free card. We call this a lifeline. You've already been thrown off the boat. If it cannot hold that level again, just careful. Today's price action was actually not bad. We opened pretty red, got a big morning pop, but didn't hold it throughout the day. So I think we'll see the support from here is in the very low 80s. So and again, from a long-term perspective, I'll just say this, that area, which was support, should become future resistance. Let me just get some confluence from this guy. Yep, bang on. It is right there as well. So yeah, like double confluence. It could be right. It could be anywhere in here. So like this area, I don't have double. All right. That was a little fast. So you don't want to see this below 90. Otherwise you're going to see sub 80s, which is the next area of support. Long term, this chart is just basically breathing. It's very, very high beta. But you got to be very cautious with things like options right now with not a lot of catalysts. All right. Next.
Oscar,
how was healthcare today? I don't know. New high?
Yeah, broke 30 after hours.
Well, she's still going. think my sentiment holds here. Like, look, you just if you add it from the low teens, then you could take a trim. We're coming into the upside targets here. So upside here, I think actually probably last week I said about 30. You're literally right there right now. So this will open up tomorrow in the 30s with a 3 handle. So congrats. This can go up to like 32. You just, once it breaks that move, so there's this little teeny tiny consolidation right here that's happening. This is very likely going to go up just a little bit like this. What you don't want to see is you don't want to see this come back below the 30, because if that happens, then this scenario right here is going to be what we call like a fake out, like a look above. We call this a look above and fail. You just hold, but like if that happens, that's how this happens. Otherwise, 32, potentially 36. And at this point, your full momentum trade, you got to keep retaining every level as we go. So 30 becomes the next support, then 32, then 36, then 42, so on and so forth. Just so people know what that looks like. And then we are done on SpaceX. I think it was a very similar setup where this is SpaceX. If it doesn't hold, so you hit all your targets right here. We just did this earlier, so just irrelevant. If you don't continue through, you didn't get that, so you have to go down to the next one, down to the next one, down and back, since it's straight momentum. All right, next.
Let's do this one. I think this is interesting. We haven't done a financial in a while, but Bank of America is on the verge of breaking all-time highs.
Yeah, so financials are doing the stress test. You got to be
For those that don't know what a stress test is, it is the Fed basically evaluating a bank's balance sheet to be able to make sure if interest rates were to go up or there was to be some different change in monetary policy, the bank could handle it. And usually if the stress test period goes well, banks either increase their dividend, do more buybacks, all that type of stuff.
Bingo. So it's basically, can I buy more shares back? Can I increase my dividends? And if it looks like it's going well, which apparently it does, then that's what happens. And then you get some more speculation. So that said, 57.50 is that prior all-time high that you're noting right here. Support is deep in the, well, I guess that's relative, is in the low 50s. Support is below, is around 53.5 down to just underneath 52. If this were to continue through the summer, upside targets on this is going to be as high as 65 on Bank of America. You could probably say this across the board. Just going to assume. Yep, JP Morgan, same exact setup. Very similar. JP Morgan, you're not quite there, but that would be a 370 handle, 375. Probably Goldman. Oh yeah, she's just going. Probably Morgan Stanley. Oh, she's gone. I don't know. What's Wells Fargo? WFC? These are different type of banks. Sorry. Not doing so hot on Wells Fargo. This is like a laggard. You're at resistance. So Wells Fargo would take it to 90s. Actually, not a bad trade on that one if it does go higher. Just assuming Capital One. This thing is, yeah. Handful of them. I think there's a difference in quality here for sure. But Bank of America looks good. JP Morgan looks good. We're good. All right, next.
Well, if we're on financials, let's do SoFi.
What? Do they do a stress test?
SoFi doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if SoFi does it. I know the other big things do.
Well, it's at support, 15s, low 14s, holding. So my sentiment last time stays exactly the same. I think last time I said if this can get through, but it'll be 1, 2, and that this coming time is going to be the third try, which usually doesn't work out. Literally exactly what I said last week. Didn't work out. That's fine. Anything, and my concern here was that it would be a bigger pullback. What is that? It's not even that big, but it was a solid, and that's a solid 12%. I think this next attempt does it. which means that anything, if this is holding over 17, holding over 18, I think over 18, this is likely going to do it. At least for a bounce. Again, is it sustained? I couldn't tell you. And that bounce should take you to 23, and that's a good equity trade. That bounce could take you as high as 23, which is where that prior resistance is. Maybe even as high as 26. That's where the major resistance is. You can see right here on this volume shelf right there. So you would essentially be taking a trip from this mountain peak, or from this mountain peak, sorry, out of the range up to that one, which means that your trading range is that from 19s up to 25s, give or take. But you usually, as a trader, would take profit before you get all the way there. Not a bad setup, actually. Good setup.
And people are saying SoFi is not required to do a stress test from them. That makes sense.
No, they're not. But it would be nice. It would be funny if they did.
Netflix.
Yeah. Nope. No. Like, legit, just no. 60s. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. If the only saving grace is like maybe if this is a call it liquidity grab here, and it's back over, we'll call it this area, 77s. If it's back over 77s in strength, cool. Then this is a fake breakdown. This is a new low. It just is what it is. It's a new low. If you see a bounce like this, I'm not saying it's a go, because that is how like another little umbrella would show up, you know, and get you to the sub 60 level. Very careful. But at sub 60, you buy. Well, I buy. You do you.
Okay. Tesla, she didn't do it last time we talked about it. Yeah, same thing. It was like this consolidation last week. We said, look, consolidation. Let's see what she had in store. She didn't have it in store. Breakdown is live. But it is not bad. Like it's not a horrible breakdown. This, quite frankly, is the gist of it. It's literally there. So from here, it's already broke down. From that's all you're looking for. So that moment, we'll see if it's below 370s, then yeah, okay. Then we have basically 350 to this area down here, but it's also too early for that. So right here, right now, this is that first area of support. The breakdown has happened. It is initially complete. Is it enough to say that it's over? No. But this is your first downside target from a intraday trader, just like that. So it can get worse. It doesn't have to. But I think this was in our group. I think I told in our group it was sell 365 calls up in this area for exactly this kind of potential breakdown. I think if you did that, then you can kind of just like trail out of them. And if you get this, then you want to take those off. Your big buy is going to be in like 270s if you see it, sub 320. But I don't know that we see it yet. We have to go step by step from here. But for right now, near-term support. TE.
T1 Energy. Holding 892. Again, near-term support. Looks okay, but it's not able to get through resistance near term. I should probably do a bigger, it's all giving me confluence anyways. 850 kind of stop. You don't want to see below 850. Below that, then you're basically retracing a portion of this range that you're trying to break out from. So if I zoom out on a weekly chart, you might be able to see it a little bit better. And I'll just like clean this up and take the lines off for a minute. But TE is a harder one. It's got some other catalysts, but you're looking at this entire kind of range, and right about here is literally like your halfway point. So you're hitting your resistance right there, and that's what you're seeing, right? And so you can't get through that. That's fine. You can pull back a little bit, and you know that the pullback is happening. Basically, that 850 number that I gave you, that's when you know that the pullback is happening, and that you should pull back probably into the 6 areas where you saw support show up last time. And that's okay also from a long-term perspective if you saw something like that. So that's where low 6s would be support. And then you want to see it kind of build again up and out. And that would be essentially your first level right around, is that 14s? We're moving and grooving. Next.
Amazon.
Ooh. Amazon. So we're below earnings, all of that. I think the gist on Amazon is that she's going cash flow negative, which is like the bigger fear in general. I think it's more of a fear. I don't think it stops anything. It's just a fear that they won't be able to sustain the spending. Support is in the 225 area from here. We just barely broke down. Like we broke down again from up here, 260s. That's a breakdown. And that breakdown says, hey, look, you're going to 237s. And it did go to 237s. The problem we have here on Amazon is that it's not holding at that last level of support, 237s. So the next one below that is in that 225s, which is probably going to be a better level of support to watch. If that happens, that's actually somewhat constructive again, because you have this like prevailing trend here that was broken. And then if it does come back in and retest it, honestly, that's something like this. Oops, wrong tool. Something like this sets up for this kind of recovery, which is going to look, it's going to be this kind of bounce. Now from there, that's where we'll have to see, does it actually hold? Because we don't want to see that happen post earnings. That would be not fun, but let this come in a little bit more. Should let her come to you. I don't think you have to be in a mad, like big rush, but it will get a pre-earnings run soon after it's done getting some profit taken. All right. Next.
Dude, I like this. We're grooving. We are moving. I like it.
It's 1 minute, 30 second with an alarm.
No, it's like we're innovating, bro. We're getting through this. ZETA.
ZETA got a nice bid today, huh? A nice one. It's right off support. So that last level of support that we had outlined here, it literally just came off of it, that's what you want to see. I think we had 1840, whatever chart this is. This is my ZETA chart. I don't think I chart it anywhere other than here. And those levels come from this low to this high, literally right here. 1840 support comes out of it, holding. So right now, this is nice to see. It's not a get out of bed and have to go buy ZETA move though. That has to be over 20. If it is over $20.13, then yes, we should see 24s again. That alone just on equity is like 25% move potentially. And you could set up a trade. Honestly, you could set up a trade like this where your risk is something like so, like 1 to 3. Just about 1 to 3 risk reward with a stop run 1840. That's how that will look. But yeah, this is the new support that you want to see hold. The reason that would be a stop there is if this doesn't hold, then you're all the way back down, and you got to go deeper than before to collect new buyers. So it's a tradable range. It's an encouraging bounce, but it's not quite enough to be like, oh, I need to go out and buy it right now. If I already liked it, you should already like it. And this whole thing is setting up for a larger consolidation setup like this, which again, if that's going to be the thing, that's a be patient type setup. All right, next.
IREN
did not go down. Did not go up. Resistance held. Same story here. This is your resistance, remains about $60. and 68. Your all-time high is about $78. I don't think that I don't think many people are in IREN for that type of move. 53 is where you want to see it stop for now. If you're gonna expect to have a full-blown, like, this is still happening imminently, this is it. Literally on support right here, right now. If not, then this deeper support is around the 45s level where it broke out from before. And that would look like $50 down to 45. That would be that dip. At which point that's your next level of support. And you want to see it kind of chop like this. But again, if I do that, what is this setup? That sets up the setup. It's still bullish, even if it has that pullback, as long as you have the right time horizon. Trajectory here is still the 130s, but that's not for a while, and that's as long as this this thesis stays in play. Hoodie. We're too fast. Sorry. Whoa, we are right on resistance right now. So 108, but I 108 to 120. This was, see this little green arrow? I'm pretty sure that's from a Tuesday. If not, it's from one of mine. So this again is measured from this all-time high to this more recent, assuming that this was the low at 63. God, I can't believe it got to 63, dude. What that gives me is the bearish resistance area. So again, you know, I always say this: if you're going to be a good bull, you have to know where the bears are. And the bears were hanging decidedly between 108 to 122. It's not until this is over 120, I give it a little extra room, 123, which is really all of these people right here. So we don't want to see, even if this pops up, I don't want to see these people sell into, I say us, like, because I still have a lot of hoodie. I don't want to see, I don't want to see these people sell into me around 122. So I don't want to get excited at 122. Time to get excited was, you know, closer to sub 90. And we're in an active move, but we already got to targets. And if you are trading this, you should have already trimmed right at that 108 area, which was that first level of resistance right here. So this is fine. It's setting up for a pullback though.
Pullback would be what, 95?
No, 91s, literally all the way. So let me just, pullback would be, yeah, 95. Yes, 95 down to 91. Anything?
I mean, it was at 97 this morning, to be honest. So it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was at 112 on Monday.
Yeah,
like that's a good pullback. But that is literally, since it couldn't hold momentum, right? It needed to hold 108. It didn't. So then we know that it's very likely coming back to this area. So it's around 91, around 91, 90s.
KEEL. So I think those $0 puts are getting cooked right now. This thing is going higher. No, I can't. This is not bad. It's as long as it's going to hold like that $6 level. Looks like I have a couple different measurements. So $6, $6.60, sorry, is this prior high from this move. Kind of tagged it. So anything in that $6, I think, is fine, and it holds that trajectory. The broader one is coming from this large piece. I guess I could take it from here. Oops. This is now weekly. Yeah, you're still right into the resistance. Yeah, as long as it's over 6, that's fine. $4 remains support, which is where you would want to pick it up if it doesn't hold this. That's your better buy. And if you're long, you just hold this and let it run. I would. I don't trade stuff like this. This is very volatile. It might be headline driven. There's anticipation. Yeah, and as long as there's no dilution, then this should
take you to 10s, just under, well, it should take you just under 9s if you can get through 750. Through 750, this will take you to 9s, however many percents that is, like that.
VG.
VG. That's a toughie. This isn't, I don't think I've done this in a while. Hang on, I gotta get resituated. This is close. This is okay. $10. $10 support. This green box, I had it here anyways. So right in this, just underneath the 200-day simple. You don't want to see it really deeper than 9
why do you think 10 becomes support? Or I guess what technical thing is telling you that?
Well, 11. So I'm using lots of things at once, right? So technically, if you want to learn this stuff, I built a school, and you can get a bunch of lessons for free if you just like sign up or join the server. They'll give it. If you want more, then there's a school that we go through. But so that 50% move, since you asked, I'm going to go over time. 1186 was that 50% area. You have a very high probability once you lose that 50% pullback range, again measured from here, extreme low to extreme high. You have a very high probability of seeing this deeper range. On this specific chart, I have confluence here of this, like we call a volume node, and I have confluence here of this being resistance. So quite frankly, it was like once that was lost, you kind of know that it's happening. And so your support is just to breach that barely. You don't want to see it go lower, because below that you're significantly deeper. But this is how that would kind of set up for some kind of move like this, just like that, where like they take it below the 200-day simple. This is going to be in consolidation. I will just tell you this. So any major moves to the downside are likely dip buyable, but not like it's going to rip face and go to all-time highs. That's not happening on this chart anytime soon based on other momentum reads. This is in a phase of consolidation. So the lower end of support in this consolidation phase, this looks like 6 more months, something like that, are buyable as close to 9 as you can, but definitely below 10, or as close to or below 10. And then when it is ready, it will be not, and it won't be ready until it's over. It's 11 and change. I know they're like, this is when they start saying, oh, it's male astrology kind of stuff. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But then you'll have this entire kind of you'd be looking for a bowl, another one, to kind of look like this, which means that's what is this, October? That's the consolidation that I'm talking about. All right, next.
Qualcomm.
Okay, this is tomorrow morning or tomorrow at noon. They have an investor day. It's a big deal. No pickle. This is QCOM, investor relations. I'm just getting the time again. Investor Day 2026. This is the second event of the week that's going to be big to me. So what is that? About the lunch hour, just after the lunch hour. So this is really where they're gonna, it's all edge AI. And this is what I was saying earlier. Like, does this event kick off the shift where like we really start? Anyways, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of people paying attention to that right now. Technically, support is just underneath 200. They held 200 just barely today. Resistance is up over at 230 still. Downside on this right now would be like 170s if it doesn't do well. And that, like, I would probably buy anyways. So that was actually like my draft logic. I was okay with that. So if it does happen, it would give me at least 90 days for the thing to recover. Anyways, I forgot to hit the timer. But that's enough, right? So resistance at 230. Even if this looks good, let's say it does do a really big day and it closes the day at 230 tomorrow. I couldn't say this is out of the woods yet. It really needs to hold 230. Then trajectory here is 300, potentially for much longer time frame in the fours. But short-term trajectory, if the market likes what they have to say, yeah, this could be into the 300s very quickly. I don't.
It was 258 last week, so it definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, easily. I don't hate this setup coming into earnings because not earnings coming into this investor day because it is like it's a very toppy head and shoulders type setup. Literally, that 190 is the neckline right in here, and if this were to fail, that's exactly. Well, you know me. This is one of my setups. It's not. You'll never find that in a technical analysis handbook. Like this guy's crazy, but yeah, this is right off support near term. Let's see what she's got. Does it work out? I hope so because I own a lot of it. But you don't know, right? Like, so I think you could wait. I would turn that stream on around the lunch hour.
Oh, you're gonna stream it? Or
no. I mean, you could. I have to record some stuff.
ASTS.
What? Sorry.
ASTS.
So this is so again, you lost the 82s, which was 84s, which was support. You're literally on the next level of support right now. You haven't broken through. This is all aerospace and defense are in the same exact setup. I don't think it's a Rocket Lab aerospace specific thing. All of these companies have the same exact setup right now. Quite frankly, if they do break down, I think, that's what happens and it's not a big deal. To me, this is build your position into Q3, 4 for these guys. Let me just pull a bigger one. Let's say since this is not really holding that well, let me get you a better one. So this shows 50s, roughly 50s. If this $68 range cannot hold, you're right in here. So 68.36 is your next stop. If that doesn't hold, then you're down into the low 50s. Oh,
okay.
You literally hit that to the what? Jeez. 68.36, you hit it in the pre-market.
Oh, we
was that the post-market? Yeah, that was last night, maybe. Post-market's already hit. This is why I turn those after-hour sessions on. That counts.
No.
Yep, pre-market. That counts. If it traded there, it traded there. She held.
Yeah, obviously this thing took a big drop from the 130s, but this is also usually where it bounced. In May, this is where it bounced.
So these on all the space names, aerospace and defense across the board. What we had today, sorry, I'm on commentary mode right now. What we had today, I know it doesn't feel great, but take a breath. Across the board, I think I had the same thing I said on SpaceX even. Okay, so today we opened up red, deep red, right? Like pre-market, that's some nasty red. And then we had a huge move to the upside. Yeah, we locked the highs early, but we closed pretty far off these like actual session lows. And at the end of the day, let's take yesterday's low, which is $72.58 right here. You can trade against that. And that's absolutely how I do that. And if we look at where was yesterday's low, right? 72.50. As long as I'm over this, it's very likely that the low is in. Now that's nice to know. All that means is it's not going down right now. From a trading perspective, that means sell puts. It doesn't mean buy calls. It means, okay, sell some puts. It's not going up until you're back over 75.80. and then you are going back out into the 80s, like mid 80s. But this is constructive, very constructive, decidedly constructive. All right.
Microsoft.
Soft.
Very soft.
Wow.
I don't know, man. 470 to 360, little bounce today. What do you think?
Dude. Hey, you know, it's when we lost that 398 area, it's the same thing. Like technically, this is why these technical things happen. Like you lose these levels. That's 411. You know, you're going to 390. You lose 390. Shoot, 350s is in play, or very, very close to 371. I would have to zoom in one more time and do a very similar thing, but on Microsoft, it's a struggle too, because like here's yesterday's low, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. This is yesterday. Yes, it opened red. It opened red. That's good to see, and it definitely closed green. That's really nice. So then I want to go over to the prior day area, and we're literally closing on it. That's about 373.25. Like right here, if this holds, then I want to see this continue on, and I want to see this area, call it this one, actually breach, at least to make a new high. Does it have to hold that? No, I don't care if it holds that. But if it can come down, let's say it comes down and does that, it's still all about this exact level right here. And that would create a higher low after, after creating a higher high. And I would be okay in that instance, but that has to look like this. See that? And then, so we're close. Then that becomes your bull. But that means also that you really need this high of 381 to breach on the next push. Doesn't matter if it holds it or not. That has nothing to do with it. If it holds it, not a big deal. Don't expect it to. I would expect it to come back down. And then I want to see a higher low. You go long on higher lows after higher highs. You don't go long on higher highs. Amit's been learning this because of his day trading. What do you call those? Escapades.
Endeavors.
Endeavors. Cool. Somebody said this one. I'm curious. I just saw it in the chat. Yeah, I just saw it in the chat. So I know you're like, why is he talking about this right now? What is he?
No, this was catching a bid on the data center theme a month ago.
Yeah, I like Generac for sure. But I think they're all a little hot, but I don't think that they're done at all. And yeah, this looks like the spot. I have this anywhere essentially here down, so 46 down to 41 for a bounce. That this bounce significantly more intriguing. Yeah, company pivot, blah 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 blah. But I mean, this is just very clearly, you know, higher high from before. Very clearly, that was the low. So this is very clearly a higher low, very clearly a higher high. So where does the higher low usually land? Like how low can this go before it's invalidated? It can go as low as like that 40 area, which I just outlined, 46 to 40. And I have some confluence here on where all the volume is. That should be support. I like this slightly lower to start building if I'm going to take a shot, or if I'm going to build into this. That's how it starts. I don't know if it's real. That's how it starts though. Ooh. You've got price discovery again. Not really. I think this is fine. ARM 350s, 352. You're in support. You're on it. Dude, the stock draft was so red today. Imagine everybody being bright green tomorrow.
That's
Right.
usually what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the biggest. It's when you have the big. Yeah. So usually after the biggest green days, we have the biggest red days, and after the biggest red days, it usually is like a slow build, quite frankly. But we'll see. 352 is near term support, not big support. Large, higher time frame support is actually below 250, which might sound like a lot, but it is what it is. It's like 30% lower, but it didn't even take that long to get there. Let me just get some more. So this had hit all extensions. Honestly, ARM can be up or down 30% at this point in a single day. Yeah, I have confidence too, also closer to 260s on support from that move. So if it can hold 350, that's fine for near term momentum support. If it's below 350, you're going to see 300, slightly lower than 300, and you're likely going to see closer to 350. But again, that's just a basic pullback. It doesn't mean a broken chart. It means pullback. Right now, holding 350 is holding consolidation. All right. Next. Intel. Dude. So this one is wild. She's still in the active breakout. We're about to find out. You have a slight look above and fail. I wanted to have this hold in this area. So look above and like we have this break from this prior high. Let me just get a quick. I got a lot of lines on these charts, so just double check. Yeah, I got confluence. All right. On the right-hand side of my screen, you see all the volume. These are volume at price. Your biggest group of buyers is twofold, right around 120 here. If this can't get over 135 quickly, then that becomes the dip buy somewhere in here. And you'd want to see it bounce. It's not a big dip buy. It's like a okay, it's not over yet moment. This really needs to be over 135. Then you hold into 145. You can have another pullback, and this is your trajectory into 200s, just like this. So right now, this is setting up for a bit of a move here, another one of these, and that could mean that you have a breakout like this, which could set up for one of those kind of things. That's what that's looking like. We'll see. TBD on this, but yeah, this is not done. All is good in the hood. This should see 145s next, as long as what is that? 115 holds. Next.
Sorry, I was muted. Ondas, as drone theme has been kind of cooked for the past 2 weeks now, but I feel like this is the time to buy.
We did KEEL already, guys. Oh yeah, this is heavy support. This is not heavy support. This is make or break. How's that? It's not heavy support. It is make or break. This looks like break. Yeah. And if that's the case, then you're leaning towards sixes. But this is the moment. Yeah, like this. So it's got to get back over 10, which is a really long ways away. You have all this overhead resistance now. And you're below all of it. That's a tough look. Yes, it's that support. Yes, it looks like you can get a bounce, but unless it's like a ginormous bounce that takes you all the way back up to 1150, which is possible on a name like this, and holds, the key is holds. Yeah, it's right there. What are they buying at? This is at just under 8. It might have already bottomed near term, but that's a hard setup. Not hard. It just doesn't look good, because if it's a small bounce, here's the issue. It has to be this. If it's not this giant move, what it's very likely is this. That's what that sets up as. So my point of like, it's likely setting up for a bounce. You don't want to see this bounce and then breach like this. That's what that kind of is setting up as. It's not a sell. It's a watch. It's not a short. It's a watch. And you're watching for really, again, not an event, but a process of another kind of rollover moment. Or, does that happen? One of these two things is going to happen. You have the levels, below 850, it's not going higher. Below 7, you got like multi-dollars to go. And a bounce has to go well over $10. Right, next.
Service now.
110 is the level that we've been outlining. It is not there. It's not a new low. It is a new high. Is it time? Better risk reward than a week ago. That's true. Yeah. So 110 is the level where this really breaks out, right over here. You're going to have this small, looks like you have a bunch of people that bought over here that may sell on you around 100. So it's a nice spot for a small bounce. This you can't call yet at all. You can call a bounce into earnings, which is by the end of the month, by the end of July, potentially. But like I was saying before, this really has to sustain over 110 and ultimately sustain over 135 to be in a real reversal camp.
Fluence.
Ooh. No, she got shellacked. She's got to get back over 22.5, like quickly. Fluence. Okay, so resistance held is what happened. 25 resistance right here. And so support is it's very close. It's the weirdest thing. It's right over here. It's $20.70 down to 18 over here. So like 18 is a better buy. You can see where they bought over here, where they bought like over here. Now you just kind of want to see, all right, well, did the people that bought here, and all of this, do they end up buying last time they bought here? Do they end up buying again? And so if you do see that, which is why this is, we're just seeing this chop. So that's why this area is support. That's post earnings. 25 is resistance. Let me just get you one more thing. Yeah, if this loses 17s or 1790s, then it is 15. But for all intents and purposes, it's just battling with resistance right now. So let her cook on this. A better buy entry is sub 19 if you can get it. I don't know if we'll get it. Next.
Inflection, INFQ.
Why you know this?
They just met with the Trump.
Okay. So resistance is between 18 and 20. This chart is like ADD. Support is at 13. It just came off support. As long as this is holding trajectory here, you have a couple different areas. So as long as it's holding over, near term support is 1485. Larger support is at 13. This is already on its way. This trade is live. So this trade is live into 17, almost 18s. Yep, where resistance is. If it can get through that, then you're into those 20s. You're live. It's already in motion. If it's over 21, then it's 25. So your full target here, which has already triggered to take, is 25, with the first stop at 1890s, second stop just over 20. So these are targets 1, 2, and 3. Trade over. From there, expect to pull back.
Okay, let's do the last 10, and then we will be wrapping up for today. Oracle.
You guys, how it says last 10. That's a lot of tickers.
That's 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes.
You must be going. No, she's coming all the way back. This is all the way back.
All the way back to what? 130?
Oh, yeah.
That's April 13th close.
Yeah, it's going to have a 1.3 handle, at least a 150. This is not going up. This is actually a very bad setup. So one of the worst setups I've seen in a long time. Does anybody have?
You don't think if Oracle goes to 130 that
this looks absolutely horrendous. This is one of the worst charts I've seen in a long time. Holy sheesh. Dude, hold on.
Why is it that bad too?
Okay, so momentum is building hot and heavy here, right? See how you have all these, like, remember these SMAs? Just the same way that we, like, when we want our SMAs tight and about to expand before we're going to have a big move, they just tightened and they're about to expand right now. But the problem is that price is below, which means that these are going to expand down. Does this make sense? You're about to expand down, which is a heavy acceleration in this instance. This is the type of setup of, like, I'm not saying anything one way or the other. I have it also on Tesla, which is why, by the way, we're very cautious on Tesla right here. I have the same thing on Tesla. The last time, sorry, I'm off track, but this is important. When you have stuff like this, this is what I'm talking about. So you have there's 3 SMAs, 20, 200 day, 50 day, 20 day. When this is about as tight can be, when you have this and your price is below it, it can pop up. But if it doesn't get above, you have this expansion, and that usually precedes a pretty heavy move. In this case, 30% down, but a full continuation down. All from an inflection point that starts most times like that. That's what preceded a 65% drop in Tesla last time. Just like the same scenario precedes a massive run, this is just the opposite. That scenario preceded a 90% run in Tesla to the upside. This is how the 60% that's a long-term view. It's a process, but it's closer to the end of the process. Like, sorry. We'll see. We'll have to see. Like, you just don't want it to be below this 130. I don't think that would be what I'm talking about. Is like a sub $100 stock. If that happens, it's not happening right now. You're gonna have to get their earnings. But if this looks like, if it doesn't get out of the way soon, that scenario I just kind of talked about invalidates over 192, and that's fine. No, it doesn't invalidate. It doesn't invalidate till it's over 220s. So you're 218. You're kind of at risk as long as it's below 218. If it's over 218, like weekly, monthly, because that's a longer view, then you're fine. But if you're in it, that's also, I think, fine right now. And hopefully this more recent low 160 holds. Let me see. This needs to see. This is a gross chart. Hold on. Who has this ticker?
Me.
You do not.
Yeah, I bought it at 135. You're saying it's going back to 130. I'm like, okay.
No, so if that breaks down, this is it's $60. It's on the chart
Dude,
right
it's
there.
not fucking going to $60, bro. What are you saying?
Why
Like,
not?
If it does, Corey even Nebius or like everything would be dead in the NeoCloud.
If this goes to 75, $60, it's literally right here. By the way, I will probably buy the stock if it does that. But yeah,
I think it can go lower from here. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's going to 75. But
that's the
maybe I'm too
floor.
optimistic.
The floor is 75. I mean, the near term, it should be if the current floor, which is 130. So you're like, if the current floor, which is 130, falls out, then the next floor lower on the elevator is 75, $60. But right now we don't have that yet. We have, I think, best case scenario, this is consolidation. And you get that, right? So this right here is what I have right now. If this doesn't hold, yeah, then it's 75. So I guess it depends on how you don't have Oracle in the draft, do you? You're lying.
Oh, and on the draft, my actual portfolio.
Oh, you're right.
Who has it in the draft? Did anyone pick it in the draft? No, Steve.
I'm sure
Steve
they
has
did.
Yeah, Steve has it.
Dude, hey,
Okay.
Steve is like, he's like a sleeper right now. Like he is dead last.
No, I'm dead last.
Whatever. We're all in a race to the bottom. It's a race to zero right now. But like, dude, hey, Steve has all of these things that are just absolute like beat to crap. Like it, honestly, the Baba, look at this guy. He's got some crazy. This guy has a portfolio that is essentially going to be trailing like the bottom 2 or 3 the whole time until one day out of nowhere it would shoot him like up to first place. That's what those stocks look like to me. Just like that. I'm like, oh man, kind of sleepy.
I just feel like anything can happen. It's been 2 days, Last year, Matt wasn't leaving 8 months before. Like anything happens here. Dude,
Tanner's like, it's all going to be about the rebalances. Tanner's probably got like even the ones that aren't doing them great right now, they're looking actually pretty decent. So like, I feel like Tanner's got, if he can sustain his momentum, like it doesn't look bad at all.
All right, let's do 5 more. Let's do last 5. Then I actually got to get out of here. By the way, real quick, a trader lost 1.8 million on betting on England in Polymarket to beat Ghana because they drew 0-0. So he ended up losing the whole 2 million.
This is why you don't bet on soccer. You don't, because you have to bet tie. There's 3 bets: win, lose, tie.
Yeah.
Or
okay, last 5. Coherent.
So I mean, so all the AI stuff is very toppy. It's holding right now. I think 360s. What do they want me to say here? You're not horrible, but you're not great. At least from a price action perspective. This needs to get back over 410 with the quickness. There's a little bit of a volume like session gap over the weekend. I think this can bounce. This is a wait. This is a hold. You're setting up for this, which is into the 520s if this does get the continuation. But right here, right now, I don't actually I have it just as a no trade. You're at the very bottom of support, which is 375. You just don't want to see this below 375. Below 375, yes, you do go, and you will very likely lose the 50-day. And again, this is really tight. Your support isn't like closer to like larger support isn't to like closer to 200s on this if it does pull back. So high flyer 200 is probably a buy. 250, sorry, between 250 and 200 right in here. But right now, this is just about being able to sustain the parabolic kind of, not really parabolic, the momentum. There's one that's on that nobody drafted. I might, Sienna. This one did a double beat, double ski. I think they sold their stock. They did a raise, but she's holding. I was very close. I don't know how close you were to drafting this. But I think this one's already somewhat de-risked, somewhat, right? So like it's had a big pullback. I think this is worth a shot. Downside here is like 350s, 340s. But if this can hold this general momentum, literally right here, right now, if this can get over 465, then you have a better shot for this to be already done with the downside, which again probably should have, could have, would have, would look like this back in the 560s right over here. But that is resistance. Sorry. Now your shot, your choice though.
All right, last couple. Bloom.
He's doing all his draft picks now, guys.
No, I'm doing the chat.
You see what happened. Sure. Actually, though, this is a good 326. This is the same setup as Intel right now. So this is okay. It's what we call look above, so far fail. Means that, all right, we'll give it a little bit. It can pull into 275, and I want to see it get bought up one more time. That is I don't hate setup. I don't hate this setup at all. 275 support. But not below. Nokia had a good day, didn't it? No, yesterday. Oh, yes, dude. She did it dirty like that. She was up a lot yesterday and then down all of it today. They were
It's
all
kind of
like
the story
that.
for a lot of different semis today, to be honest.
Yeah.
They pumped yesterday, then just dumped today in the morning.
Still hold on Nokia. $13 is the weekly low. Yeah, $12 downside. You just don't want to really be much below 12. So I would, if you're actively trading that, you can have a stop here at 12. But after that, you just want to let this breathe. This looks fine. It's just building. So it's consolidating. You're very nearly at support. Like I said, $12, which is here, is your like stronger support. Your very near-term support right in this area, which is what it kind of bounced off today. It's not like if it's going up, it's going to be over that $16. So this whole setup is consolidation. That's what we're looking at right now.
EOSE.
USE. Ooh. What is wrong with this stock? Why is it not doing what it needs to do? There's something wrong. There's just something wrong. I don't know what it is on this. It's either going to have to be, it's going to have to be headline driven. It's technically not acting right. So 550 in this area, $6 support, which is this prior breakout. So that's what we're looking at from this area. It held slightly. Maybe it just went way too far, way too fast.
Well, they dropped 50% last earnings, but they've had a couple good headlines since then, which caused the spike.
Yeah, it's still sitting right on this area. But what I'm talking about, like, why is it not doing this? Honestly, it should have hold. This might just be a market kind of like knee-jerk profit-taking moment in general. If the company is real, and that's the big caveat here, if the management is investable, the management team is investable, which I don't know, and they have a good pedigree, good track record, this thing should be bottoming. Just not really seeing that quite yet on the charts. Lower support is in the 4s.
Okay, last one, then we'll do Bitcoin, BlackBerry.
Like, dude, it's a sad day when BlackBerry is more of a long than Nokia on the charts, huh?
Yeah, I mean, BlackBerry is more long than a lot of names on the charts.
Really?
It's up 100%.
Yeah.
In the past 2 months.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's because it reports tomorrow. or Thursday. So yeah,
No, they
it'll
don't.
hold
They do?
here.
Oh, you're right. Thursday. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so it's not going to break down ahead of earnings. Like you already got some profit taking. Support is at 7. This is 720. I mean, it's not a big move. Maybe it gets a little bit of a bounce, but $10 was the upside target. Anyways, if it's over 10, if it's really holding this $8-9 area, it was on track for 12 plus. And then potentially up in here if it's over 1250, but we're a bit away from that right now. So near term $7 is support, just under. I got time for one more.
Bitcoin.
BDC, he has time for one more. 69K all-time high. This thing is just
You did say it's going to 40. And who knows?
It's $46,221.44 is what is on the chart right now from what? Oh yeah. Is that locked in? That's very likely locked in. Is that going to be it? So right now, yeah, down to 50K. So as long as it's below 65, your support is right in this box, which is $50,158.83 down to $46,221.44. That's where this should get bought. Does it? I don't know. If it's not above 65, then we have a bigger issue. And so we're toying with the 200-week simple moving average. That's going to throw off a lot of institutional traders. You have that kind of like momentum expansion to the downside again, potentially heavier this time because you're closer to the 200. Like I was saying over here, all of this is the process. You got a nice little bounce, but that 200-day killed it. Heavy rejection. So yeah, it's if you own it, you own it. I wouldn't necessarily sell it. I think you're closer to the lows than you are to the highs. That's for sure. I mean, I don't say that's for sure. That's my opinion, is that you're closer to the lows that you are to the highs at this point. But she's not ready. She's not ready. Unfortunate truth.
I was going to say, let's do one more really quick.
Tell me what it is. And if it's good enough, we...
KLAC.
Okay.
That one's been moving. That's the last one.
All tested measurement, right? I think that we're going to see all this stuff. Like, so it's moved. You're probably going to, I think this is fine. Even my cadence is probably going to pull back, by the way, right? 215 or so is a good one here. I like, so like test and measurement, metrology, whatever, these things are not going anywhere. So these are the type of stocks where I'm like, don't sell this. These are the kind of stocks that even if memory falls off a cliff, even if all the chips fall off the cliff, which is, even if all of that stuff happens, this stuff, it's not going anywhere. The more complex the chips, the higher quantity of chips, the more these kind of companies are needed. That said, it is just a question of how much pull forward of demand or valuation did we see? I don't know. So if this comes down, I'd say closer to 215s. I like it there. But if you're long, this is just not a sell. It is extended.
All right. Well, that is what we have for today. Jason, thank you as always.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, there's his Twitter.
Yes. Go through the Twitter, get into the Discord, come check out the apprenticeship lessons, give a bunch of stuff for free, hop in, chat with me, chat with whoever. Yeah, I think we're gonna run like like short-term equivalent type of like the stock combine, like the stock draft, but like very regular short-term stuff, but only in the server. Just for fun.
Oh, that'll be really fun.
Yeah, Ryan's working on that right now. Pretty sure he's got it set up. So we're gonna do that anyways. Yeah, so it would be just to have some fun, right? So, but it'll all be in the server for fun. Maybe we'll give some money out. Depends. We have to do like quarterly, because you can't do a yearly for everybody, because then people will come in and then they leave.
Right.
They won't be able to get in. But yeah, if you want to play alongside, they're setting it up. But anyways, yeah, dude, this is cool. I'm excited. I think we're fine. I think this week, setting up like 2 weeks ago, where like it could be I'm not going to trade this week. I would say that I have no intention on taking any large positions for any type of sustained moves this week. I just feel like it's a trappy week. And everything's telling me sit on my hands. Don't even try and buy dips anytime soon. Hopefully we bottom out tomorrow or today and close towards the highs. Still, if we close on like highs, all-time highs, I'm still not really like trying to press the gas in that moment either. But nothing looks broken. It looks like ideally we go sideways and we have a little congestion, like consolidation, which I think would be the healthiest scenario for sure. Let my runners run, let the winners win, and don't panic on a 5-10% move. The amount of beta in the market as a whole, like the average moves are just so wild right now. So you have to be patient, and you have to be like cognizant of that. Where you can have, what was Micron down today? 12% down.
14.
Okay, 14% down. Yet the chart is not broken at all. So it's just it's just the market that we're in. Huge moves right now.
Jason, appreciate you again. I think Jason is one of the best people when it comes to actually analyzing how the markets are operating from a technical and fundamental perspective. We will not be live tomorrow or Thursday because we're going to Singapore tomorrow. So I'll be gone for the next 2 days. We'll be back Friday for the market open, Monday for the market open, Tuesday for the market open, and then July 1st through July 5th we'll be gone. So July
1st through the 5th. Wow.
We'll be back. Yeah. So we still got 3 more lives, 1 this week, 2 next week. I know next is tomorrow is big for Micron earnings. I will not be. I think Tanner and Jose and those guys will be streaming it. So I'll find out in the air.
Oh my goodness. So we're actually going into July 4th next week.
Yeah, I won't be in America, unfortunately, for America 250.
4th of July, you're not even going to be in the country. But
I'll be back on the 6th. And
did you upgrade your flight?
Did I what?
Did you upgrade?
No.
My guy is flying coach on a 20-hour flight.
And I definitely overpaid for it, given where the ticket prices are right now. But
hey
guys, it should be fun. I appreciate everybody. I'm going to be enjoying seeing the people that are at the meetup in Singapore. Haven't left the country in a long time.
I'm very jealous. Are you going to live stream at all? I would love to. That would be cool. Oh.
Yeah, so we're going to do 3 lives, 3 market opens, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. And then after that, no lives. So it's basically going to be like missing 4 or 5 days. But we'll be back on the 7th.
Okay.
And we'll keep going from there. So we're definitely not doing Techno Tuesday next week. Because market close is like.
Yeah, John, I just realized that July 1st week is bullish. That's why actually 4th of July week is very bullish.
Really? It is? Usually?
Very bullish. Yeah, very good. That's why it stopped me for a second. I was like, wait a second. We're actually already there. It's a very bullish week. Probably one of the stronger weeks in the year, usually. So this is what's going to make or break this is the big deal.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Deeply, deeply appreciate you all being here every day. We'll be back in a couple days, then Monday, Tuesday next week. Then we'll be back July, starting fresh. Hopefully everyone enjoys the next few days. Hopefully Micron does not tank the markets, but as Jason said, even if you get a 10, 15% drawdown, those end up being dips that likely get bought up.
I don't think it's tanking. We'll be good. I'm not worried. You worried? Nobody's
No,
worried.
I as you said, 630 from March lows, like we're up a lot. And so these moments of consolidation, it is what it is, dude. We're in the greatest technology revolution in the history of humanity. So it'll be a little bit of ups and downs.
All right, guys. Adios.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you all.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys on Friday for the market open. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Late. How do I know when it's off?